What up? What up? What up? A2HH live on a Wednesday. Coop, how you doing this
Y'all should
evening?
have had me come down there. That would have been
Bless,
better.
Good,
bless,
good.
bless.
We got a special guest today too. Oh, I want to get
I can't hear
everybody in the
y'all.
room real quick. Make sure everything is good here. Yeah, yeah. People see everything that's going on. Shout out to everybody in the room. Sorry for the delay. Sorry for the wait. Thumbs up in the chat so we can keep it moving. We got Love the Genius here. You know,
Yeah.
we want to talk about the Genius tape. Yeah, yeah, all
Yeah, what
day.
up? What up?
I mean, you ready to go ahead
What's
and get
good?
into it? I know you got, things to do, love. We appreciate you coming through. And for the people who've been long time, viewers of the show, I probably remember her first time stopping in. Was that like 2 years ago?
It was. It's been over
That was
2 years now.
definitely like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
crazy.
I was actually joking, like after we did our last show, it's like she had no reason to fuck with us 2 years ago and even do the interview. I was like, we was
Nah,
on some
I
bullshit.
mean, always.
No,
I
for real,
definitely
we
did,
was
y'all.
still in
I
the
mean, you
city.
gotta, you gotta, you gotta fuck with who fuck with you for real.
For sure. I mean, when I first heard you on From a King to a God's Deluxe, Conway or whatnot, I hit Coop and was like, yo, she got bars. Like I
Yeah.
remember saying that, and I was like, we gotta go find her, and talk to her, and we did. I mean, and then you had a
Yeah.
project that was coming out, and it was hitting on all cylinders, and we told ourselves like, look, next time Love drops a project, we gotta holler at her, and you dropped the Genius tape, and it's fire, one of the best hip
Hmm.
hop albums of 2023. So we gotta holler at you
Thank you. I appreciate it.
for
Well,
sure.
I mean, my first
Definitely.
question.
We could do this how many times y'all want. Y'all, tapped in with me early, so I'm always gonna be here for y'all for sure.
No, no, we appreciate that. I want to know how did the Genius tape come about with Green Lantern? Like, how did y'all even, you know what I'm saying? How did this relationship even form, you know?
Well, it's interesting because I've kind of known, like, been associated with him through distance for a couple years. So two people who are close to my heart, Drea Denore, who's actually on Conway's album, and Kadir Latif, who's was on my first project. They are in his family. Like his wife is their relative. So I've been around like that for a couple years. But then it wasn't until tour, when I started going on tour with Conway and them, that we just were able to develop a closer relationship and just, you know how you like checking somebody out, but you got to see how they move and see their vibe for real a couple times before you really try to approach them. It was like that. So
Right.
I would say of just already kind of hearing about each other and then being able to really build and connect on the road.
Well,
Whoa, we got a whole different screen going on here.
we still
We
good? Okay. Okay.
uh-huh.
Part of the reason why I was even asking that is because, like, you know, I feel like Griselda and the whole camp and the whole upstate New York and the subsidiaries, I feel
Hmm.
like y'all get like I feel like y'all get New York love, but you're not really getting like all the New York love that you deserve. Like with the media, with the radio and the DJs, I feel like they only kind of like call y'all's name up when it's time to do like a radio promo or when it's time to kick like a freestyle. Like, I mean, most of us are
Yeah.
infamous with Griselda right now because Benny and Westside and Conway have done a good job about making the rounds during their run. But I just wanted to know from someone like you who's kind of like second generation with drum work,
Hmm.
like how that love actually like looks to love. Because like for me, from somebody that's in Atlanta from the outside looking in, I don't feel like New York City and the five boroughs are giving y'all just due. In my opinion, y'all are the best crew to come out of New York as a collective since Wu Tang, and you're definitely an intricate part of that. So I just kind of want to see what it looks like from your end and your perspective as an artist.
Well, for me, I actually feel like we get a lot of love. I mean, maybe not, you're not going to get as much love as you will from the hometown ever. Like, New York City people going to root for New York City people more than Western New York people. The same as Western New York people gonna root for us more than we root for the city. But for me personally, I feel like it's is a lot of camaraderie and respect for real. I think it's just a matter of like um maybe like the styles, like the sound, the style of music that New York City make is more like drill, and Buffalo and like the western side over here, we kind of like still into the culture, the essence of the skill. So I think that's a part of it. But for the platforms that are for those outlets like SiriusXM and like Rosenberg show a lot of love, Funk Flex, where he's starting to show love. Like I think it's there. Like it's always room to grow though, for
I want to
sure.
ask you, what's changed the most for you personally and professionally over the past 2 years?
Personally, what's changed for me is my ability to like naturally I'm a nice ass person. Like I'm not a nice ass person, I'm a giving ass person, like a sharing ass. You welcome me, you can have like, yeah, come along, we could be cool. And I personally realizing like I have to kind of calm that down because it's not getting the same outlets, like the same outcome these people want to give me their mixtapes and stuff. So that's personally a difference. And then professionally, I would say one big thing is before I would like you have more time to create when you kind of not as busy. But now that my schedule is picking up, I'm learning to create while I'm moving, which is different for me because I'm used to, having separate time to create and then separate time to promote. But now it's like you got to keep this stuff going. It's like a flow of a system, and that's a big difference for me professionally.
Right, you're kind of like in show and album and mixtape mode all at the same time now in terms of it being partitioned off. Now it's all together in
Right.
one conjunction, and so now your discipline and your organization has to be different, right?
Right. It's like you gotta like yeah, you did a show, but that don't mean after that you get to relax. You gotta go to the studio when you get off that show, and the next day you gotta go to the press, but you also still gotta create. It's kind of like finding the balance of creation and execution, or something, or creation and living, or something like
You
that.
going to the
But
studio tonight?
I'm finding it. It's pretty good.
About to say, yeah, about to say you going in tonight, ain't you?
Yeah, one thing that I could say that I learned from Conway is and Benny is to work ahead of time. You know what I mean? Like I'm not. I feel like some people like West don't got music stashed. You know what I'm saying? West makes something, then he just put it right out. But what I'm learning, one thing I learned from Conway and Benny is to create, and then like I'm like right now I'm like at the end of next year with my creation.
You
You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of was able to just build up on my creativity and then be able to roll things out as I need to, which is something that I learned.
I think that happens because, I think Benny and Conway are more core artists than West are, and West is more like an executive producer type thinker. So he's like wrapped and locked into that moment and wants to create the moment in the memory. I think most traditional artists
Right.
tend to be the type that like to stash and lock and load and have something that they can kind of pull out, even if it's just to kind of recreate off of or to do something again off of, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Right.
Right.
Right, exactly. But when you on the grind, like I mean, I'm still coming up and stuff, but before you get to this point, you doing what West doing. Like that's how you live your life. Like, because that's how your money going. Like, like, oh, I gotta record this tonight and drop it because I'm hoping to get some traction from it. But I'm saying it's like a different pace now for me, for sure.
I want to ask you, I mean, because we've been talking about 2023 and a lot of people got mixed reactions to hip hop in 2023. How would you describe hip hop in 2023 as far as like the new music that's coming out?
I actually feel like it's been quiet. I feel like it's been a very quiet year.
Yes.
Yeah, I just feel like it's been quiet. I don't know if it's I don't know. Like I just feel like music was created faster, or there was more of it or something last year and other years. I feel like
Yeah, we feel the same way.
there's
About to
been
say-
good drops, but I feel like there hasn't been a lot of them or
I
something.
feel like your crew and your collective have had a lot to do with that, and so I think y'all not recording at the same pace has affected some things. Actually, it's like we've been hearing a lot of drum work stuff, but y'all have been the main ones. I mean, Griselda's been the main content producer since we've been doing this podcast for almost 4 years now. Y'all have actually been the main ones doing the music.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of core East Coast hip hop is taking a cue from y'all and kind of like adopted that work ethic. And I think, I mean, not, obviously some things have happened personally with all of y'all, but, and life happens. But, I think some of y'all's not putting out material as much as affected the rest of the climate, especially like regionally. And I actually wanted to ask you something because I know Griselda got its first, or the collective up there just got its first gold plaque when Benny did Johnny P's Caddy with J. Cole, and a lot of people in the industry and outside media, like Mike and I, feel like that album, that song went gold, and it's because of Cole. And y'all have influenced the culture in a lot of ways, but it seems like the numbers haven't translated because when Mike and I found out that was the first like gold record that it came out of the camp, we were like, that's crazy, you know? So like, what do you think
Yeah.
that gap is between the influence and the love that you all are getting, the quality of music that you're creating, and actually hitting that threshold of, I guess, 750 million streams for a gold record? Because like y'all have made gold caliber records like literally for years and years upon years now. So what needs to happen, including yourself? Like, I feel like you've made some records that probably should have gotten some more notoriety. So what do you have to say to that, and what do you think the gap is, and what do you all need to do, and what does Drumwork need to do to kind of change that?
I feel like it kind of goes into what you were just saying before, like and it could be something with this could be something in why the pace has been different this year, but I think that if you put so much music out, that's your like that's what you're doing. So like a lot of these other artists, they spend time on an album, like spend a year and a half promoting the same song, the same album. But with Griselda, it's been like so much back to back to back to back drops that I think that maybe the pace of it has been like you don't really know what's the latest thing to focus on. Like as a consumer, kind of, you kind of just like there's so much music. Like I know, like even Tyler the Creator was saying, like I pushed my one album for like 2 years, and so with that you're gonna hear repetitively the same thing over and over, and it's gonna help the traction of that. But if you just like making another album every month, it's gonna get those type of results. But for me personally, um, I'm learning. Another thing I'm learning is I'm a person who has to live life. Like as a creative, I have to live. Like I
I think we lost the feed for a second. Love, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know what just happened.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was saying, like, for me personally, I learned that um, I think it's just about the pace, really. Ultimately, I think it's about the pace of the drops. Like, if you dropping all the time, why am I, like, I don't know what I'm keeping up with it. But if it's like this the only project you have for the last 3 years, you're going to have more traction on that. So I think for me, aside from needing to live life between creating, that's going to be the difference for me is like,
How do you
just
do
the
that
time between
when
projects, really.
you spoke to like what your process is now? Like, so how do you, I guess, have that time to live life when you're creating? I mean, and then create when you know what I'm saying, you're performing and you're going into the studio and you're constantly doing that. Like, how do you find that balance still?
I'm looking for it. I don't know yet. I just realized where I'm at now is I realize that's what I have to do. Like, oh, okay, I can't, it's not a separation. Like, I gotta keep this stuff going all at the same time. But I think it's a combination of like working ahead of time, like how I'm saying,
Yeah.
and anything, like I'm about to go to the studio right now. I already got all of my music for this year and for the top of next year. So I'm currently working for the end of next year.
I love
You
that.
know what I mean? So I think that gives you time.
So I think it's funny you bring up the balance about like the actual time to live life to create, and
Right.
I'm a big Lauryn Hill fan, and I can remember interviews where she talked about, well, she's like, well, I made music. The music hadn't come out because I didn't like the quality and the caliber of music, because I went from being able to create after living life to record, and all of a sudden, Fuji's
Mm-hmm.
blow up, I blow up, and it's like, well, now it's, you know, show, studio, bus,
Mm-hmm.
plane, and you're kind of speaking to that in the
Right.
process of working through it. And when she spoke to it, that was her explanation for why the music hadn't come out, because of the expectation of the quality. So I think it's fascinating, because when I hear you, like, I was actually having this thought today. It's like, if anybody should redo doo-wop, it should be you, because of the
Mm.
perspective from which you speak, and you have the ability, like the record on this. I'm going to get to the record in a second, but you have a record on here where you very much know how to address things from the male and the female perspective, and I think it's rare, you know, for either a male or a woman in this business to kind of be blessed with that trait. And Lauren has that trait in spades, and I think you do too. And so, has not being able to live life as much affected the creative process and quality in your opinion, or have you feel like you're starting to find your rhythm and it's getting better?
So I feel like I'm able to I'm able to find my rhythm now, but because of how far ahead I'm working, the music that I don't like, the quality of it, that don't mean it's not gonna come out. Like, you know,
Right.
I'm just realizing it, and I'm trying to catch a rhythm now and maintain that quality. But it's tough. I'll be honest. It's not easy. I will say this is probably the hardest part of this is finding that balance, because I think that's what happens to some people. Like,
Yep.
not even just, of course, not talking about Lauren, but like their first album dropped because they didn't have anything and they had to live life, and like that's all they were doing is working on that one album. And then you blow up and now you're busy, and you could either get caught up in the nightlife and all of the stuff, or you could go to the studio. But even in that, you're tired, you book, blah, blah, blah. So it's about finding a balance. But I am a writer as a whole, so I'm never like, I'm always going to be mindful and careful about what I'm saying and what I'm putting out too. So I'm not just putting anything out personally. Y'all may hear some like, oh, that was just a horrible, like a ridiculous freestyle, but like that was me freestyle.
We know you got to go to the
I'm
studio
not.
in a minute. So I wanted to get this one out there because we had a big discussion on this a couple of months back when we were supposed to connect. But you say you don't like the term female MC. I mean, can you kind of elaborate on that, you know, for our audience?
Yeah, so I just think it's limiting. Like, I just think it's very, it just puts you in this weird box. And I don't think the term female MC has historically been good. Like, it always is like, oh, this is a rapper and that's a female rapper. And it's just like, I don't know, it just puts you somewhere else. And to me, I just don't need to be over there. I need to be in the pool of everybody personally. So I think it's ridiculous. Until we start saying male and female everything, like y'all are male show hosts.
Right. Male podcast.
I don't see the point in saying female rapper.
Okay, love, but I'm going to challenge you a little bit because, I do feel you and I do understand, but also, and Mike and I have talked about this, I think in terms of the women being involved in hip hop on the MC level, this is the biggest and the best crop we've ever seen, for one. Collectively, as a whole, in terms of the versatility, the agility, the quality of MCs. I mean, there are MCs of the highest order like you and Che and Sims, but we also have like well-rounded stars like an Ice Spice, like a Lotto, like a Megan Thee Stallion. There's like a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of bubbles. Like I saw a top 100 female MCs list, and I was thinking when I was coming up, I couldn't name you more than 25 if I went through the whole history of rap. Like, like in 1996, it's like, oh, I can give you 25 MCs like that were women, like ever. And so it's like, I do think things are changing. But I also like, well, here's my thing. Like on Che's album, y'all have a track called Ladies First. It's you, Che, and Armani. So it's like you do use some of the feminine quality to your advantage on a record like that. Would you not say?
I mean, we women at the end of the day, you got to play the game. Like, this what y'all go with. And I just want to say that's Shay's song. So, if it was my song.
Hold on. That's one of my favorite records. That's one of my favorite records I've heard the last
No, but I hear what you're saying.
Well, I mean, to follow up with that.
But one thing.
Does Shay feel the same way that you do about this? Or you know what I'm saying? Are
y'all are nice.
Other women in hip hop who feel similar ways that you feel about this, or is this kind of like, you know, just your thing?
Oh no, I don't know about if Shay feels like it specifically, but definitely other women say it. Like definitely, people come up and thank me all the time for saying how ridiculous it is. But one thing I do want to say off of what y'all just said, like, yes, I feel like this is we've never had this many women rapping, but I feel like in the past that only one woman was allowed in the rap crew. Yes, right. So I think that's where maybe the term is changing and all of that's changing now. But like that may be where the thing came from with being a female rapper. Like, oh, these are the rappers, and then that's the female rapper of it, and you kind of know what that is. But now it is changing. But for me, they still say it, so they could, it still gotta
Well,
go.
Do you think it'll ever go away though?
I was about to say, I think. Hold on, let me say
Yeah,
before you
go
say
ahead.
that, I actually think like you and Che are helping it go away because it's like, well, quite frankly, y'all are better than most of the guys that are walking around right now. Like, as in like about 90-95% of them. And so it's like I think part of
Yeah.
the reason why the term female MC exists has more to do with it being kind of like chauvinistic and saying, oh, they don't have the same skill level as the men. I don't think that exists
Right.
anymore because people like you exist, because Che exists, you know?
Right.
So it's like
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I got a quick personal question. You know, the last time that we talked, you had this record that started out your album, speaking of another woman, called Tunchi with Armani Caesar. Love, where's the record at? I rode through the east side of Atlanta and all through downtown, and everybody loved that record. When your shit dropped, I did not find the record. I have not been able to find the record since. Where is Tunchi with you and Armani? Where's the banger at? Where's my
What's
banger at?
crazy?
See, because I know you've been recording at a place like that, because I'm like, oh, they dropped that record.
What's
Where's my
crazy
record?
is that song. It was some very crazy situation with the producer for that record. Really, that's really.
Okay.
But me and Armani got more music that we about to drop. It's coming. I
Dope.
promise you, we got music coming.
Okay.
For sure. Because too many people. I didn't even know that like the situation with that song was it happened so quickly. I didn't even know the song got so many listens or so many people knew it existed. But people keep saying that, like bringing it up. So
I mean,
I'm like, no, we got to get back in there. So
no, love, I was stopping at lights like on the east side of Atlanta and like downtown riding back to my side, and people was like literally rolling up to me, like, because a lot of people know, they'd be like, it's like, Coop, what the fuck is that? I was like, that's Love.
That's
the Genius.
crazy.
They're like, because it's Atlanta. They're like, who the fuck is Love the Genius? I was like, yeah. I was like,
Put them on.
you know, so I'm literally putting people on like on the east side as they like rolling up to the car, like while I'm playing the record, because it's like
Yeah.
Friday, and like that's my ride. I used to do a Friday ride, so like people that would see me would know, be like, that's Coop doing the Friday ride for the show. So when I'm playing
Right.
the shit, like people is walking up to me on Boulder Crest, on Gresham, on Candler, like, yo, Coop, what is that? That shit crazy. You know what I'm saying? And that's the east
Damn.
side of Atlanta. Like the east side of Atlanta is particular. Like the east side of Atlanta, where I'm from, they typically don't even respond to New York music like that. So it's like the fact that it was getting
Yeah.
traction when I was just riding through. I was like, this some shit. You know?
Well, we know
Yeah, that's crazy.
We know.
Yeah,
you said
we
seven,
got
Love.
another one coming though. I could say that for sure.
We know you said 7, Love. I know you got to head to the studio. You got like a final question or final thought before you get out of here. We don't want to hold you up.
Nah, really, I would just say like check out the Genius tape if you haven't already. Follow me on everything. Love the Genius, spelled with a 7 and an X.
Yes.
And I appreciate y'all.
Hey,
we
what's-
appreciate you all day.
What's your favorite joint on the project?
On the Genius tape,
Yeah. Mine is Lost.
Lost on Mars.
Yeah, we did it again. See, okay, so the last time we talked, our favorite songs were Bailey Avenue. Lost on Mars is my favorite song too.
Yeah.
Here's how I feel about that song. I feel like that's like very close to Kendrick's Real off Good Kid, Mad City. And I liked how
Fire.
you addressed the
That's hard.
psychology of the man and the female dynamic, and the man approaching the female the way that he does in the record. I thought it was like super important, and people need to hear it psychologically from both sides, how you're breaking it down, because we're not getting that rhetoric in hip hop.
Right. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's, I don't know. That's a song that I didn't even realize what it was. Sometimes I just write and then I
Yeah.
don't
That's
even
special.
really realize what I wrote until I hear it, you know?
It's special, and I'm 2 for 2 for like matching you like on your favorite song and it being my favorite song too. So you got to come back so I can try to be 3 for 3 with you.
Nah, that's a fact. And I just want to shout out the east side of Atlanta. I love it out there. I went to high school out there.
Yeah,
That's
we
what's
talked.
up.
We talked. You was up there in Stone Mountain, right? Yeah,
That's right.
I was.
Yeah, I graduated from Clarkston.
Okay, I went to Redan.
Okay. I feel like everybody from the east side went to Redan.
It's kind of like rite of passage. It's like you either went to Cedar Grove, Stevenson, or Redan, or Lithonia. It feels like up there, yeah. Because everybody I meet is like from them same spots. So yeah.
Love, you
Right.
got to come through the studio too when you back in the city. You know what I'm saying? Like, come join us live.
No, for real.
No,
No,
for
for
sure.
real. That's what I was saying. I'll definitely come out there for sure. But I gotta go to this other studio though right now.
Yeah, go do what you do. We appreciate you.
Well, let's do it. We appreciate you as always.
I, for
Knocking out
sure. Thank y'all. God bless y'all.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Up. We got 36 Chambers with the super chat says, Mike, can you link the Love the Genius music in the title of the show? Thanks for having her on. Gotta promote and show love. Oh yeah, we'll definitely do that. We're gonna chop this up and kind of have it as an individual video in itself. But yeah, that was cool, man. Love always coming through. Very, very talented artist. For people who may not be aware of her work, you're slipping. You need to get on it. And yeah, she's really killing it out here. I feel her when she's talking about MCs just being MCs. And I think that's dope. But I think that to your point, there are women in hip hop who, they utilize their femininity too. And I think that's where the title continues to go on and get stronger. But it still should be an MC because men do the same thing.
I was about to say, well, men exert their masculinity all across the board in life. And so when women exert their femininity in hip hop, we can't necessarily be detractors of it. And I think some of what Love is talking about is we try to be detracting of it on the skill level. It's like, oh, well, she has to express her femininity to fit into this climate. She doesn't really fit into this climate as an MC.
That's how you rap good for a girl, right?
Yeah.
I think that she brought up a really good point, and I didn't even think about this, but yeah, there was a time in hip hop where there was one woman in the group.
She's right.
4+1, 3 6 Mafia, Fugees, The Firm, and I think that's kind of where
Kim,
Junior
Kim
Mafia.
is
in Junior Mafia. Forget about that, but yeah,
Rod Digger in Flip Mode.
Yeah, but you know what?
The Brad on JD's roster.
I think a lot of that comes from the dynamic vocally that a woman MC brings. Like, I remember when Tear the Club Up broke for 3-6, and that was really their first really big hit. And the 97 version, because there's plenty of versions of Tear the Club Up. But when you heard Gangsta Boo, rest in peace,
it was different.
come through.
It was different on the track.
Yeah, like her voice just cuts through in a different way. And I think that's what everyone was attempting to achieve by having a woman MC in their group all the way back to Funky 4+1.
I do. I think, and here's part of
Shout out to Shara.
Right. Here's part of why I love Kim and I'm so attached to Kim. I can remember where I was the first time I saw Players Anthem because I saw the video before I heard the record.
She cleaned up on there too.
Mike, she cleaned up after one of Biggie's better verses. That's 95 Big. That's
I used
his
to pack
feature.
Cats in Cadillacs. And even her appearance in she stole the show.
But no, she rapped after Biggie and stole the show.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's one of How You Living, Biggie Smalls. I'm surrounded by criminals, heavy rollers, even the shiesty individuals, smoking blunts and mad Phillies, beating down Billy badasses, cracks and stacks and masses. Like, he's flowing on there.
Robberies of class.
But I passed it. Shit gets drastic. I'm burying you bastards. Like, he's rapping on there.
Chicken Head's not Chicken Head without Lil Chat.
It's not. Hold on. She's actually the one that sold the song. I remember.
She is.
I remember my girlfriend in college. She didn't like the record, but she liked LeChat's part because she thought it was funny.
Yeah.
She related to the girls.
Like, my outfit. Don't even fake the deal. Like, yeah. She got the most memorable parts. And Pat actually did that previous album, Getty Green, when he had Gangsta Boo on Ballin'.
Yeah.
We got to holler at Pat, too, man. I want to interview with Project Pat. I see Project Pat out here doing interviews with all kinds of people, man. We need that Pat interview.
I'm with Project Pat.
Yeah,
you know how I feel about Mr. Don't Play?
Yeah, it's classic.
It is.
But, yeah, I think she brought up a really good point, though. When there was, like, one woman in the crew, I think that even furthered the whole female MC. Oh, you got a female MC. It wasn't like they were one of the guys, because clearly
it came with the kit.
Kim was the strongest member of Junior Mafia, clearly, right?
Unequivocally.
And so it wasn't like she was competing with them bar-wise.
That's
she
what
was
I'm
the star.
No, that's what I mean. Is it like, no, she immediately, that's what I mean about she's different, and that's why she means so much to me. Is like, no, it was like she was competing with Biggie. It was like, oh shit. It's like, yeah, she better than all them other guys. Like already, like off rip. It was never a point that them other dudes in Junior Mafia was nicer than Kim.
There was never a point where we debated, Lil C's or Kim or something.
No, there'll be none of that.
Nah.
There'll be none of that.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. No, it's like she's jumping on the Quiet Storm remix with Prodigy and Havoc.
Is there an advantage though to that? Like Rod Digger stood out too in flip mode.
You can use your femininity to your advantage, but is it at your degradation as an artist in terms of your lyrical output and your musical quantifiable ability to make an album? Because even when I talk about Kim like this, all these dudes do is pull up and talk about how Big wrote the records on hardcore.
Well, I think that's another part that
Which is some Busta ass shit
now
to
this
do,
is
by
what
the
I
way.
will
That's what
say.
Bustas do.
This is what I will say, and I'm not the one to call out, I'm not the one to be the feminist, right? But
Are you a little chauvinistic, Mike?
I mean, I can be. I'm a guy, but
Ditto.
this is what I will say. I do think that it is very problematic that every time that a woman rapper comes to the forefront, everybody's like, such and such is writing her raps. And it's like, come on now. Like, there's no reason that we should really think that Safari wrote Nicki's raps. There's no reason.
I mean, let's go to
Let's go to
Foxy.
If it happened, it happened, but there's no reason. Why would we even think that?
Let's go to Foxy right quick.
Yeah.
Jay wrote like 3 records. People act like he wrote her whole catalog. Like, no, people really act that way about Fox. It's like, Jay wrote them records. It's like 3 of them. Like, she got like
3 records.
I know he wrote I'll Be, and I think there's like 2 other writing credits on Il Nana.
Do we know that he wrote Albie, or is he getting that writing credit because he's on the hook?
I think it's definitely the hook credit for one.
Yeah, probably.
And then I always tell people it's like, well, her best mic performance is actually Broken Silence, and she's removed from Nas and Jay on Broken Silence, and that's actually her best mic performance. That's why I always bring up Kim. It's like, well, Kim's best rhymes actually started after Biggie died.
I mean, the thing is, we don't know unless we hear reference tracks.
But
you know what I'm saying?
But it seems like the matter more when it's a woman than when it's a man, and that is a problem.
And it's almost like we expect it. That's the problem. Like, the legendary Fab Five Freddy just got on one of those podcasts and said that Ice Cube wrote JJ Fad shit or something. And JJ Fad posted it and said, that's false.
What, Supersonic?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like Ice Cube, for one.
Yeah, and it's like,
and 2, so what if he did?
Again.
Like nobody brings up, like, how about this? And not to knock him, God bless his soul. Nobody knocks Biz Markie for Kane writing that shit.
Yeah, nobody knocks Eazy-E for Cube writing this shit.
At all. Matter of fact, we hold up Biz high. We hold up Easy high.
Yeah.
Right? When you ever heard somebody say something bad about Biz or Easy? Or been like, oh, yeah, that nigga ain't like that.
But
he had ghostwriters.
I think that we just don't consider them as top-notch MCs like that. But see, I think the real problem is when we do find out that a woman may have had a ghostwriter or whatever, or even insinuated, we act like it's expected, like it's okay. But if somebody like Drake has a reference track, that's all people are going to talk about. You know what I mean? It's like he had a ghostwriter forever, and we don't even know how much stuff has been written.
We only know
anybody.
we actually,
right.
Even with the Drake Quentin Miller thing, we really only know of 5 reference tracks.
Exactly.
Mike. We got 5 reference tracks out of Drake's whole career.
I was gonna say, you know how many songs this man has?
Fuck,
and I'm not the biggest Drake fan like that,
Mike,
but it is.
And we're about to talk about Drake because he's about to
Yeah.
drop. Mike, fuck the songs. You think Drake got like 50 hits, Mike?
Again.
He got like 50 hits. I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying that.
No,
He's literally part of like 50 hits. We're talking about 5 songs. And I've been part of that
collective. From an artist that's really not proven as an artist like
that. And I'm from that collective that had a problem with it, but it's like the more I look at it, it's like, and here's what I don't like about it. It's like, why y'all treating Drake like y'all treat the girls? Ugh.
It's weird. Mad Max with the super chat says, I mean, people bring up ghostwriters with Drake. What y'all talking about? Well, I think it must be delayed on his end.
Stop bringing up Drake like he a girl, too. It's like, that's what I mean. It's like people treat Drake with the ghostwriting thing like Easy ain't have a ghostwriter.
Well,
like Biz ain't have a ghostwriter. Mad Skills wrote for a lot of cats in this business, Mike.
Yeah. But see, people treat Drake like he's a straight-up fraud because of a couple reference tracks that we've heard.
I mean, not to be
and
funny.
certain people we know have ghostwriters, and nobody says anything.
I mean, Mike Hadden Skills wrote for LL?
I don't know that. I don't know that. Now, if
that's what you doing because you like L,
I don't
love
know that.
L, but stop playing
what songs
with
do you talk? I don't know that. I don't know that.
Okay.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I just never heard that.
Okay.
Now, you know my theory. I think Kane may have written some stuff, allegedly. I have no proof.
You think Rakim
but
wrote
it
Summertime,
sound-
Mike?
I do think Rakim wrote Summertime. So I'm not defending L on that. I'm just telling you I've never heard that. I think Kane wrote Around the Way Girl. I do. My opinion. I think Kane
Definitely
wrote
sounds
Boom and Sister.
Kane, Round the Way Girl sounds like some Kane bar work.
Yeah. I want a girl with extensions in her hair. Bamboo earrings, at least 2 pair. Fendi bag and a bad attitude. That's Kane. To me.
Boom, 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 boom,
Right.
boom, boom,
I
boom,
think-
boom, boom.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
Kane has some influence on Jingling Baby remix.
See, so this is
and
what
these
I'm
are
saying.
all Molly Mall records too.
So here's my thing. Even with the Kim thing, when people bring up Big, y'all really not mad that Big wrote some of those records. Y'all mad that Kim got style that's comparable to Big, that she knows how to actually pull it off.
She did pull it off very well.
She pulled it off.
And
because
even
she
when
got-
he was gone, she pulled it off.
was because she's great.
Yeah.
It's because she's great. It's not because Big wrote it. It's because she's like inherently great. Like Mike, like the greatest vocal performance that I've probably ever heard vocally is probably Whitney Houston's "I'll Always Love You." She definitely didn't write that shit. Nobody talks about that shit.
Well, she has a vocal talent that is just nobody has.
No, Kim, that's what I'm saying. But some of these women
Yeah.
have talents, and it's like, well, we try to dismiss the talent by saying somebody wrote it. We don't do that shit in R&B with Whitney. We don't do that shit with Mariah. We don't even do that shit with Mary. And Mary can't sing like Mariah or Whitney.
Well, I think singing's different.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's black music.
It's different.
It's black
because we're talking.
Why? Why?
Let me explain. We're talking about melodies. We're talking about.
So is hip hop.
Well, no. I mean, with hip hop, we're talking about.
Hip hop
rhymes.
is taking hip hop is taking funk and soul melodies and flipping them.
I
so the
understand
fundamental
that,
basis
but I'm
of
talking
it
about from a writer's perspective. It's like if I hear Kendrick rapping the way that he raps, right, and then I find out somebody else wrote that, I'm like, well, I want to know who wrote that because I feel like whoever wrote that could probably execute rhymes in that way. You can't hit notes that Mariah Carey hits. You can't hit notes that Whitney Houston or Michael Jackson hits. I mean, they have an instrument. Their instrument's different.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
Well, so Mike, this is what I've been telling you. Well, that's why the voice matters so much in hip hop, and it's
Yeah.
not that much different.
I agree with that.
It's not. Lil Kim ain't just popping up in Brooklyn. Like Big chose Kim for a reason because he's seen all the things. So it's like it is the same thing, and it's the same thing because Mike, this is what I keep trying to tell you. Go look at all of our greatest MCs. Go look at who they are vocally.
They got great voices.
They got great voices.
No, I
That's
give
just
you
like
that.
R&B, Mike.
I
It's
give
no
you that.
different. Tupac, Big, Rakim, Nas. Like literally the only guy that doesn't have an all-time great voice is Jay. And it's actually a mark of how all-time great he is. Ice Cube, Chuck D, Scarface. These are all great voices, Mike.
I agree.
The voice fucking matters over here, too. So when people try to make it seem like, oh, it's just about the rhymes, no, you wouldn't be hearing that shit that Tupac kick if Tupac didn't have that voice. You wouldn't.
I think the
Because-
voice matters, obviously, but I think that when you're singing notes and you have somebody like a Whitney Houston that could take a song that somebody who does have vocal ability and take it to that next level.
But it's-
she's done that with like
it's
3
because
different covers.
but
Like
it's-
vocally, she's different.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you is that
Yeah.
vocally, she evokes something because her voice is that brilliant. What I'm trying to tell you is like, no. Tupac does the same thing to you.
Are you giving passes to ghostwriters or people who have ghostwriters?
I'm not giving passes to it. It's just like we need to start looking at the purview of it like in full. I'm starting to tell you, I'm starting to come off that pivot. It's like, no, the voice and the lyrics, like that's it. That's an equal equation. It's not leaning more on lyrics than voice because here's the reality with Biggie. I hate to break this to people. It's like if y'all think Big is a top 5 lyricist in 1994 on Ready to Die, it's like you're fucking kidding yourself. But his voice is epic. His delivery is epic. It's all the things that made Big. Big didn't become that top tier lyricist consistently that we're talking about until after Ready to Die, Mike. It's the voice.
Well, I think that's what's different too.
Even
Well,
with Pac. Mike, Pac vocally, go listen to Pac's first album. Part of why Pac's first album ain't like that is because Pac's voice ain't like that because he hadn't found it all the way out yet. Strictly for My Niggas, he starts to figure it out. By Me Against the World come out, he has it. And
Well,
it's a rap.
That's also what's different about hip hop and rap too, is the fact that that's part of the job to come up with your own flow. You know what I'm saying? Like part of being an MC is to have your own flow. Now your voice, you can't really help too much. But honestly, let's keep it real. People have a rap voice. People don't go out there and just rap with their talking voice. They create that voice. You know what I'm saying?
It's the same thing in R&B, Mike. You
Oh,
brought
I
up
want to
Michael-
finish something real quick.
Go ahead.
Because when people go out there to a cypher, you're not going to go into a cypher rapping somebody else's shit. But When you go out there in a talent show and you're singing and a sing-off, you might go out there and sing End of the Road by Boyz II Men. Covers aren't really that uncommon in vocal music. Now, when it comes to hip-hop, you're not going to go out there and do a cover of nobody's shit.
That's true, but here's why voice matters, Mike. You brought up Michael Jackson, right?
Right.
You've heard the Floetry version of Butterflies, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've heard what Mike did to it, right?
Exactly.
That's Mike's song now.
I've heard the original Human Nature, and then I hear what he did
Mike
to
vocally heard things that, quite frankly, they don't have the capability to hear.
I mean,
and knows how to impact them with his voice. It don't matter that Floetry wrote that shit.
No.
Nobody that hears Floetry's version and hear Mike's version think that Floetry got something on Mike vocally because Mike took that record somewhere that they could not.
He's historically done that with The Child's Heart from Stevie. He did that with Who's Loving You and Smokey and the Impressions.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So it's like
the Impressions. But,
so,
you know,
but what I'm saying is that when Mike starts scatting on that track, when he starts using his falsetto and he starts freestyling his falsetto, Mike, because if you go listen to the Floetry record, you can tell Mike is literally in there freestyling some shit. He's vocally freestyling it. It's different. It's the same thing because Mike is freestyling on Butterflies at the end. You understand? Because he hears something.
Talent.
Like Tupac, like Biggie, like Method Man.
I think that certain people just...
It's the same thing.
I think that certain people just have a great voice. Like a radio DJ would have a great voice. That's different than being a great singer. You know what I mean?
Like Chuck D don't do soft records because Chuck D voice ain't built for those records. Chuck D knows how to utilize his voice. So he utilizes his voice to an advantage, just like a singer would.
Let me get to these super chats real quick. LP says, the difference is that we don't hold them as top 25 MCs. He's talking about the people that got ghostwriters. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, hot take. Drake is seen as a male equivalent to a female MC, to a large portion of the purist hip-hop community. Are we excusing ghostwriters? I think they're talking to you on that one. Let's see. Leroy Green with the super chat says, I hate to be the guy, but ghostwriters exist because there are experts out here at writing songs. I respect those who write their own bars. I write my own bars, but for some, it may be wise to get some help. Mitch with the super chat says, nobody got on ODB for Jizza writing a lot of his shit.
Correct.
And even if they did, ODB wrote Brooklyn Zoo. So he's already proven that he could write a record himself.
Yeah.
And you know what? I want to say this to that. I don't have a problem with people going out there getting necessary help. And I know I made that LL Kane statement, even though I have no proof. That's just my musical ear. If Kane did write those records, I have no problem with somebody like LL, who's a superstar in hip-hop, able to give Kane an opportunity to get a check by them collaborating together. We know that LL could write hits. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't take anything from L if Kane did write Around the Way Girl. It doesn't.
I've often told you this. Part of the reason why I don't knock Drake as a ghostwriter as much is because when I listen to the Carter 3, it's like, oh, don't tell me that Wayne wrote that shit without Drake.
I was going to say.
Don't sit up here and lie to me and tell me that you think, because a lot of people.
I wouldn't say the Carter 3. I would say I'm not a human being. A lot
of people walking around here from another era think Wayne is the greatest MC of all time. And I'm looking around at them like, it's like, first of all, his comeuppance as far as making hits coincides with him bringing Drake on. And he even admits it on one of the songs, and we going to win as long as Drake's singing every hook. Okay? When I hear the Carter 3, when I hear I'm Not a Human Being, it's like, don't tell me that you don't hear Drake and Wayne in the studio together. Don't nobody ever bring that shit up, Mike. Nobody brings up Gilly on the Carter 1.
Yeah. So, I have a theory. I think 2 Chainz wrote Rich as Fuck. I do.
It feels that way.
Yeah. Never talk to the cops. I don't speak pig Latin. I turn a penny to a motherfucking Jan Jackson.
See, but also
being funny, that's 2 Chainz.
But when it's your man's, but it's when your man's like that, you might toss him a couple bars, be like, it might sound better if you
What's
say,
your name? What's your sign? Zodiac Killer. All rats gotta die. Even Master Splinter. That's 2 Chainz. I'm sorry.
Sound like Chainz.
The whole fucking, both verses do.
Sound like Chainz.
It does.
So, Mike, hold on. So, quick hot take. I was listening to So Appalled today. And I don't know why I get on these kicks where it's like, I got to hear a record. I wanted to hear So Appalled today. It was early in the morning, too. Like, I just dropped my daughter off at school. And I played So Appalled, Mike, and I was thinking to myself, it's like, first of all, So Appalled might be the best posse cut record ever.
Ever? I thought you were gonna say of this era. I mean, it's
no.
We
gotta stop playing this era shit. Because here's something I realized about So Appalled. No, this seems like a crazy.
You put it over our Shotcha remix. Yeah,
because in the end, all those 4 verses are better than the best 4. Yep, 4 verses. 4 verses, Mike. 4 verses of greatness. Better than the scenario too, because that's what I'm saying. It's like, how about this?
I think the beat carries scenario, to be honest.
It does.
And the close.
It does. The last 3 verses on Soul Paul, the J verse, the Pusha T verse, and the Sci-Hi verse, those are all verse of the year contender verses.
Shit, even Kanye had his moments
That's
on there.
what I'm saying. Like when Ye's the weakest lyricist, like on a posse track, and it delivers with the beat like that. And I'm gonna tell you what, this is what I mean about how stuff comes together. When you listen to Soul Paul, it definitely sounds like Ye and Sci-Hi's record. It actually sounds like Sci-Hi's record first. And it sounds like Ye adds onto the record. You can hear them going back and forth on the hook. But it's not enough to have Ye and Sci-Hi on that record to make it pop. And that's where Jay and Push come in and fill the gap.
Ye is such a producer on that album.
That's what I mean.
He set
got
up
the
Nicki.
RZA coming in at the end.
He set up Nicki on Monster, just
Set
like
up Ross on
just
Devil
like,
in a Blue Dress.
exactly, just like Q-Tip set up Busta on Scenario.
See, but-
Same exact way.
But he set up everybody. He set up
He
Pusha
did.
T on Runaway.
He did.
He set up Jay and Pusha T on Soul Paul. That's a Sci-Hi
He
and
set up
Kanye record.
Kid Cudi on Gorgeous.
Right. Ooh. And Ray.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful moment in
It's
hip hop.
the best record of the last, where we at, 2023? Yeah, it's still the best rap album of the last 15 years.
Abs, I was gonna say Ab. So Ab Studios, AB Studio with the super chat says, I believe Nicki have the best rap voice. I don't want her to gimmick herself going high pitch. The last time she rap was looking ass nigga.
Listen to what you're
that's
saying,
8
though.
years ago.
Listen to what you're saying, though. If she got the best rap voice, but you're talking about she ain't did a rap verse really in 8 years, and that means she don't got the best rap voice,
Think she
Mike.
got a better rap voice than Kim? I don't think so.
First of all, I'm so tired of explaining this shit. I feel like Michael Jordan today talking about that Magic Curry shit. It's like, stop doing this Nicki and Kim shit and acting like Nicki got some sort of shit on Kim. Like, she is a better lyricist, like, inherently. There's no evidence that she's a better lyricist inherently over a course of song work. She doesn't have better songs. She doesn't have more classic verses. She doesn't have more memorable moments. She doesn't have better verses, Mike. Her contemporaries, even who she raps with, it's like, oh no, Kim was rapping with motherfuckers like Biggie and with motherfuckers like Prodigy. It's like, no, I'm sorry. As much as I love Wayne and Drake, no. Wayne not Jay, Drake not Prodigy on the mic. That's who Kim rapped next to in her prime. Nicki doesn't have anything for Kim in this hip-hop sphere. I am tired of people trying to shape out this narrative like she does when we consistently talk on here about how she hadn't made rap songs in a year, Mike. Like, it's been almost a decade since she's made rap songs, and people be acting like she got something for Kim when all Kim has done is really made rap songs. How many licks is about as crossover as Kim gets? Nicki's whole catalog is how many licks, like going the other way, sliding downhill on
no
a ski
matter
slope.
what people say. That too.
No, I like that shit.
You like
Dre did been there, done that.
36 Chambers with the super chat says, Coop can justify anything, I swear. Man about to try to sell me water at the beach with this ghostwriting take.
No, it's just that
I get what you're saying, but writing is more important in hip-hop than other genres. He also says, voice matters, but not as much as pop or rock. Evidenced by how we lay Jay-Z for his writing. Not his voice. We respect and uphold rappers for their writing their own material.
we do, and that's fine. But part of the people that you gravitate towards, you gravitate to their voice, just like you do in any genre of music. And we have been covering this all year.
How would you feel if you found out somebody wrote "Dear Mama" for Tupac?
I would be hurt on the inside.
Okay,
Mike. I would be hurt on the
that's
inside.
what I'm saying. Hip hop is different.
No. But okay, so first of all, Mike, you're doing like a case study that doesn't apply.
I'm just
'Cause
saying.
it's clear that song is about a Feeny. So
Yeah.
it's like there is no room for ghostwriter.
Yeah.
And I hear what you're saying. If you want to take, okay, so here's what people have to understand. I think we're sometimes purists to a fault, and we think that it's like, oh, well, you had a writer, so you can't be the greatest of all time. Did it ever occur to you that these motherfuckers ain't trying to be the greatest of all time?
Right. They're trying to make hits.
Right. Ever occur to you?
And
they're
that's
trying
why I
to hit to
never
make
had
money?
a problem with
Like-
Drake getting a writer.
Like Wayne said he was the best rapper alive, not the best rapper of all time, and you've never heard him say that. I've never heard Wayne say he was the best rapper that ever lived, because even Wayne asked, no, he done had some ghostwriters.
When you think about somebody like a Drake, right, who makes so many hits, that's a lot to ask of a person. We just got off the line with Love, and she was talking about how you have rigorous schedules and this and that. And imagine with the pressures
Imagine
of
what Drake's schedule like.
Exactly. Imagine what the pressures of having the next hit is like for somebody like that, even when you're not feeling it. So it's like, yeah, if you go get some help from somebody, some inspiration, I have no problem with that. You know what I mean? Like, again, I'll bring up the, not alleged, but my theory with the LL and Kane thing. What if LL was, busy doing whatever he was doing, and Kane had some dope songs? If somebody hands you a dope song that you know is a hit record, you're not going to take it?
Mike,
if you don't have anything?
I ain't never seen nobody talk about Biz Marquis' The Vapors and be like, but Kane wrote that shit.
Yeah.
I ain't never heard that once.
Yeah.
And so niggas need to stop acting like they sit up there and like audit it properly. Because, and I bring up The Vapors to bring it's like, no, y'all been giving hall passes on this shit to who you feel like for a long time. When did The Vapors come out, Mike?
That had to be like 89 or something.
MC Light's brother from Audio 2 wrote her early shit.
I mean, LL came out and said he wrote Light's verse on Self-Destruction.
Right, which I thought was the best verse on the damn song next
Funky
to KRS's.
Dressed to Impress.
Definitely the best come in. Definitely the best come in on the song.
And Raw with the super chat says, stop. None of those guys said that they were the best. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, all that said, I remember hearing Ghostface that is, say that it's collaborative process. It's a collaborative process in the studio, and he doesn't believe that ghostwriting talk is like that. So I could see how it's hard to pin it down. Speaking of which, do you think that maybe the Wu-Tang piggybacks off of each other when they're in the studio creating albums?
Have you not heard the MGM on Wu-Tang Forever? What the fuck do you think Ray and Ghost do when they rap?
Is that writing together?
What do you think Jada and Styles do when they rap?
Exactly.
How many of those bars do you think actually belong to Jada? How many of them you think belong to Styles? How many of those bars belong to Ray? How many of them belong to Ghost?
What Bean say?
Like,
said,
really? What are we doing here?
I know why they call him the ghost of the shit.
I can tell
by your bars. He write most of your shit.
Your name Juan, nigga. Most of you, yeah, got me pissed. Twerking about to work the fifth. Yeah.
Mad Max of the super chat says Nicki's rap voice is better than Kim's.
No, it's
and
not.
Prodigy.
No, it's not. That's absurd talk.
He said question mark.
That's absurd.
He said question mark. He said, bro, he had 3 good rap years. Drake is 2 times better than Prodigy. And no disrespect to P.
I said as a lyricist, like I'm talking about the bar work. That's what I'm saying.
He said P ain't even Pusha.
Has a bar? No. I'll take Prodigy over Pusha too because his bars are more legendary. That's why I'm saying, like, as an MC in a vacuum, Prodigy's better than Pusha T and Drake to me because it's like they don't want to rhyme with this nigga in '96. No, stop that.
Prodigy's pretty great.
Stop that. Like, stop that.
I don't think that as much as I love Pusha T, I don't think Pusha T's
I'm a bigger Pusha T fan than you. The answer is no.
And I'm a huge Pusha T fan.
The answer is no.
I'm a huge Pusha T fan. I don't think he has had a better run than that period that Prodigy had from 95 to 96.
Niggas be talking crazy.
I think we forget how
crazy.
Great Prodigy was.
No, people.
And that's why the Takeover is ranked so high to me. Not for the Nas thing.
It's the Prodigy
but what
shit.
he did to Prodigy.
Like,
he took down a Titan, in my opinion.
I don't think you understand. It's like I always tell people, it's like, if there's not 96 Nas, the guy that you say is the best MC that ever lived, like, P's that guy.
Yeah.
No, in 96.
He is.
In rap's arguably best year, he might be the best MC in rap's best year. Like, imagine this. Like,
we got Esquire in here. I can't wait to read
Lord.
this.
He's kind of like, you know who he is? He's kind of like Kane in 88. He's like, it's like Nas is Rakim, but it's like, no, Prodigy's Kane in 88.
Yeah.
He's right there. It's like, oh, no. That nigga's sitting up here.
I mean, when we were playing Hell on Earth, I was like, man, this nigga's crazy.
Nigga, bar work crazy. Mike, you said it yourself. Andre is our best and favorite MC growing up. And in 1996, we admitted it's like, no, Prodigy's better.
Prodigy's better than Dre in 96.
And that's Dre's awakening as an all-time great MC to most people. What does that say about where Prodigy is?
Did you hear, speaking of Dre, did you hear Gipp say that Andre is, I guess they asked him, Andre is Scarface or whatnot. Gipp's going to run with the team.
Should have said Scarface.
Now, he said, Andre is an evolved version of Face, like next level.
No, he's not.
Esquire with the super chat.
I appreciate him being down with the home team, but that's some bullshit.
You gotta hear the whole thing.
I don't care. That's some bullshit. I love Gipp. That's some bullshit. Where's he an evolved version of Scarface?
Yeah.
Like, Scarface recorded more material like by 1991 than like Andre's recorded in his whole career. What are we talking about?
Esquire with the super chat
That's some
says,
bullshit.
Gilly ghostwriting for Wayne is pure conjecture. lawyer talk right there. Where are the reference tracks? Hey, yeah. Wayne adopted the Philly Beans flow around Squad Up / Carter era, just like Jay start flowing like Young Chris on the Blueprint too. Do you think that Gilly really wrote some of Wayne's lines, or do you think he inspired Wayne?
Mike, we know factually that he was there. We know he was there.
It is conjecture, though. I will give Esquire that. And thanks for bringing the courtroom into
I'm going to give him the conjecture.
Yeah.
Here's what I will tell you. When Gilly talks about it, it makes a whole lot of sense. And when Wayne talk about it, it don't. So,
do you think Wayne was just picking up on his slang?
Esquire, since you're an attorney, you know what I'm saying? Where's the reasonable doubt at? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like when I hear Gilly talk about it, I'm like, well, damn. That sounds like how Baby do business. It sounds like how the team rolls. It sounds about right. He literally has dates and times.
Wayne's whole style changed.
When Wayne talks about it, Wayne acts like the motherfucker stepped in 2-3 times, and I'm like, I don't like the way you explaining the situation.
Listen, this is what I'll say about Wayne, and Wayne's had an incredible career.
And I love Wayne.
I do too. But the way his style changed, it literally sounds like a whole nother person's writing.
It sounds East Coastish.
Yeah, I mean, not even just that. Like, you can look at T.I. from I'm Serious to trap music. He changed his style, but you can still tell it's the same guy. You can listen to Common from Can I Borrow a Dollar to Resurrection. Change his style, same guy. Jay-Z's done it many a times. You know what I'm saying? Like,
a few.
Reasonable Doubt to, let's just say, Volume 2 to Volume 3. Change the style up, it's still the same guy. Some of the little quirks in there, some of the words he's using,
some of the pauses.
Same guy.
Yeah.
With Wayne, he has 3 different eras where he sounds like totally different people.
Well, here's the problem. The guy that's on 500 Degrees and the guy that's on the Carter 1.
Totally different.
Those are 2 separate people.
Mm-hmm.
Like entirely. Flow, delivery, utilization of voice. Yeah, it's different. It's better, but it's different. But about the whole
even Lauren, if we would talk about Blunt and Unreality to
no, she's flashing.
No, she's flashing, but she's a totally different person on the score.
Well, she's just a supreme human being.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like you could tell when people elevate, and it's them. With Wayne, it sounds like a different person.
Didn't nobody question Lauren's elevation. It was like, I was like, oh, no. It's like, there she goes. She stopped flashing. She started showing. Yeah.
Super Chat's here. We got Mitch with Super Chat. He says, whenever I hear Ghost talk about his favorite rappers from this era, he mentions Drake, Kendrick, and Nipsey. But all the old heads hate Drake. I think, a lot of artists really respect Drake because they understand how difficult what he's doing is to do. And I think fans don't really, I guess some of the purists don't really dig Drake because they feel like what he's doing is easy.
And also, too, you got to look at Ghost, who's a soulful dude that's always made soulful records. Oh, he likes Drake. Because here's the thing. Ghost looks at Drake and is like, I could have played that angle and won in my day had the era been different.
Yeah.
Because Ghost has the range. Like, remember the Never Be the Same Again with Carl Thomas and stuff like this? It's like, no, Ghost got that range. All that I got is you.
Yep.
Even some of, Drake talk crazy about women, kind of like Ghost doing Wildflower on Iron Man. So there's actually, people would hate to admit this, there's actually some Ghost and Drake comparisons stylistically because Ghost is wildly versatile. That's why he's top 10.
Yeah. Leroy Green with the Super Chat says, you have different kinds of rappers out there. If you really care about the art and not the fame, then you write bars yourself. If you want to be a global superstar at this point, you may need help, may need writing help. I mean,
did Jay have writing help? Did Jay have writing help, Leroy, since you saying that? Right, so you don't get to say that.
Jay ain't got those kind of hits, though. I think Jay's greatness is based on his consistency and really his core hits. He don't really have a lot of crossover hits. I think once you start crossing over, they throw writers at you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure people submit records and all that stuff at that point.
It's possible.
You know what I mean? Like, think about it from a business standpoint. Are you going to, if you have all this money wrapped up in Drake having hits, are you just going to trust that he's going to keep giving you the hits?
How about
or
this?
If you hear some hits that he can sound perfect on, you're going to pass them over?
This is why niggas be whack with the ghostwriting shit. Fuck ghostwriting. What about when you know what a nigga actually did? I'll give you an example. Let's pause for a second. Jay's coming out moment on Reasonable Doubt is with Foxy Brown. Did he write Foxy's verse on Ain't No Nigga? Because that was the standout verse.
They say he didn't.
Okay. let's go to volume 2, Mike.
Or she says he did.
You know the volume 2? You know the 5 million selling record album? You know what really popped it? You know what popped it? It
Hard
was
Knock Life?
nope.
Nah, I know what she gonna say.
It's Can I Get Her?
That's Ja Rule's song.
That's Ja Rule's song. That's Ja Rule's hook.
It is.
So when people talk about Jay's verse,
you know what? Hold on.
when people
That's kind
talk
of
about
Ja Rule's style too in Jay's verse.
when people, if I wasn't a 8-figure nigga by the name of Jay, you mean that?
I mean that. Can I hit it in the morning without giving you half of my dough? And even worse, if I was broke, would you want, man? Does that not sound like Ja Rule?
So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool when Jay take Ja Rule's whole hook, whole style, and goes 5 mil with it. But it's not okay for Drake to have 5 tracks written by Quentin Miller. People got to stop picking and choosing their fruit, is what I'm saying, because it's like we can go to it. Jay's come up doesn't happen without Ja Rule's hook.
Hard Knock Life is pretty big on that too.
It's not Can I Get 'Em, Mike, and the numbers reflect it.
I think it's the record.
The
that
numbers
sold
reflect,
it.
Mike. The numbers reflect that Can I Get I is the record that jumped it.
You don't think that Can
No,
I
I
Get
don't.
and Big Pimpin' are comparable?
Fuck no, Mike.
You don't think so?
No.
I think so. I think
No, Mike.
I like Can I Get 'Em more than I like Hard Knock Life, but Hard Knock Life, it opened him up to a whole different audience.
No, Mike.
And I think the fact that he never sold those records again, the outlier in that is Hard Knock Life. Now, I'll give you Can I Get It. I think that's part of
The
it.
outliers, Can I Get 'Em? I'm sorry.
I think they worked in tandem, but I think Hard Knock
I'm
Life
gonna tell
is
you
the
why.
outlier.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because Jay is a chauvinist, and it's one of the few records that's actually for the women too to actually sing to, and that's how you know that it's Ja Rule. Because Jay's a fucking chauvinist, Mike, of the highest order, and I ain't sure
Why
I'm
you
trying to
say
hear
that?
that shit. Mike, have you heard Reasonable Doubt? Life's short, so play hard and stick hard. And the only time you love them is when you're dick hard. That's chauvinist talk, Mike. Fuck if a leg broke, bitch, hop up on your good foot. You
That's
remember that, right?
Iceberg Slim
No,
talk.
Mike, ain't nobody trying
That's
to hear that
pimp
shit.
talk.
Mike, and he talks that talk most of the time. What he talking on Big Pimpin'? How Big Pimpin' start off, Mike?
It's called Big Pimpin',
Mike,
you know?
how Big Pimpin' start off?
I don't even remember.
Right. Because I don't fucking need him. Right. So no, I'm not finished. So that's Jay's rhetoric. Can I get a pop? Because it was something that the women could sing to too. And I know because I can remember my girlfriend in high school telling me that shit, Mike, when the shit dropped.
Well,
That's
Emil
Ja
was
Rule.
big on
Now,
that.
who appeals more to the ladies' sensibilities, Ja Rule or Jay-Z? So yeah,
I would say Ja.
Yeah, so Jay-Z's come up and that 5 million has something to do with
And I
Ja's
think
sensibility.
Emil had a
topping it
lot
too.
to do with that too. Again, like I said with
Who
Lil
wrote
Chat,
that? Who wrote that?
if Emil is not on Can
wrote
I
that?
Get Her,
Who wrote
but
that?
her voice is there, like you said,
Who wrote that?
you need her on there.
Who wrote that? Need that hook. That's what you need. You need that Ja Rule hook. You need that back and forth of
You
the
think
Ja
Ja
Rule.
wrote her verse or
No,
or
what I'm saying
Jay?
is that you need the back and forth of the Ja Rule and the Emil on the hook to buy the ladies in. That's not shit on Hard Knock Life doing that for the women. That's Can I Get Her? And where you sell records in this business, ask LL, women, that's Ja Rule. So Ja Rule helped Jay infinitely more than people even ever realize, but nobody talks about it. Just like Biz and Kane with the Vapors. This shit been going on forever, but we be picking and choosing our fruit. I guess when niggas is from Brooklyn and the Bronx, it's okay.
Mad Max with the super chat says, Prodigy a better lyricist than Push? Y'all 90s bias is crazy. P had 3 good years.
This is not.
That's Slim Shady M. I think Mad Max, you weren't there, man.
Yeah.
Like,
First
you
of all,
just weren't
I mean,
there.
I love Push, Mike. I love Push.
Yeah.
Go listen to The Infamous.
Yeah.
And go listen to Hell on Earth. Pusha T doesn't have a set of verses like that yet, respectfully. I love Pusha.
Where is Push's
Shook
Shook
Ones,
Ones Part 2 verse?
Eye for an eye, give up the goods, both verses, the Trife Life verse, the Temperatures Rising verse,
Yeah.
Mike, the Survival of the Fittest verse,
Yeah.
Mike, the Drink Away the Pain verse, Mike, Cradle to the Grave verse, the Right Back at You verse. Mike, don't get me started on Hell on Earth. He just went on a tear.
Mad Max with another super chat says, I didn't mean Nicki had a better voice than P, but she
Yeah,
do
you
have a
did.
better voice than Kim
No, she don't.
when she raps. Kim's voice is good if you like that deep-ish.
If you have to say when she raps, then she is out of the conversation, seeing how this is according to hip-hop, and we are talking about what you do when you
When
rap.
she raps.
When she
Mo Better
raps.
Co with the super chat says, honestly, if you listen to Gilly's rap, you can hear the flow that Wayne took from Gilly during the 2000s era.
Very East Coastish.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like,
Very East Coastish.
I know, and I agree with Esquire on the fact that it is conjecture, but my ears tell me that Wayne's a whole different rapper on 500 Degrees to the Carter One. And then if we talk about when Drake came into the fold with I Am a Human Being, he sounds different than that too.
So when I tell people what's your favorite Wayne album, I'm like the Carter 2, because it's like, oh no, I hear Gilly on the Carter 1. I hear Drake on the Carter 3. You know who I hear on the Carter 2? Wayne.
Dot with the super chat says a lot of Jay songs did not age well. Let's be real. Y'all say that a lot on this podcast. What do you say, Leroy Green?
They be hating a little bit too, Mike, because I was like listening to that So Appalled verse, and I'm like, man, that shit holding up frighteningly well. I'm so appalled.
Leroy
I might
Green.
buy them all just to let you niggas how much more I have in store. I'm fresher than you all, so I don't have to pause. All of y'all can lick my balls through my drawers. Dark Knight villain, die to be the hero, or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I went from the favorite to the most hated. But would you rather be overpaid or underrated? Moral victories is for minor league coaches.
Yeah, I already told you we
major you cockroaches. See, I gave the Nas shout out on there. That was the preface to let you know that they were about to. Right.
Well, they were already cool at that point.
It's
2010.
Yeah.
Leroy Green with the super chat says,
You don't know
how many rappers you know have better songwriting skills than Jay-Z? So, of course, he don't need writers. But most people are not Jay-Z.
Whoa, when you're talking about songwriting skills, Leroy, that's actually not true because the biggest knock on Jay is the help that's involved for his biggest records. So when you're saying that, it's like, have you checked your man's catalog? Because the biggest detraction to his catalog, and the reason that I always thought Nas was better long before we ever did a podcast was like, oh, no. Get that guy 3 verses in a hook. Get that guy 3 verses in a hook. Let's go solo and find out what happens. Because that shit not going to play well for Jay. It's gonna shit. Go listen to Jay's solo records versus Nas solo records in the 90s. Go do it in the 2000s, 2010s. I've been telling people, no, he's always been better from jump. That's what I'm saying. So look at it like this, Mike. Taken in Blood is lyrically better than Dead Presidents.
I don't know about that.
Yes, it is.
I don't know about
Simply
that.
follow me, flow. Put poetry inside a crack pot and blow. Rough holes pulled out, cracking pussies and buttholes. When the D's
What do
come,
y'all
can't
think?
touch
Well,
those.
I think if we poll it here,
Why
it's
shoot
obvious
degrees
it's gonna
about
be
it
Nas.
when you could be about it? My degrees are routed toward the PZ head brick housing, studded up fake medallions. Rich niggas transporting thousands. Foreign cash exchange amount in the millions. Doors is locked, rocks is shot, catching cameras in the ceilings. Trick bitches catching mad feelings. Peeling off in the Lex Jeep techniques is four-wheeling. I bet it be some shit when we connect with Stretch. When we catching fake niggas with the text, we bless. Word? So now it's on, never wasted and slug. Time is money when it comes to mine. Take it in blood. Yeah, it's better.
Who wanna bet us that we don't touch leathers, tack cheddars forever, live treacherous, all the etc. To
not
the
enough.
death of us,
It's
me
not
and my
enough.
confiance, you shine, you feel the ambiance. Y'all niggas just rhyme.
Even the intro's better, Mike. I never brag how real I keep it, because it's the best secret. I rock a vest, prestigious, Cuban
I
link,
disagree
flooded
with
Jesus. In the Lex, watching Kathy Lee and Regis. My actions are one with the seasons. A tech squeezing. Executioner. Wintertime, I rock a fur, mega popular, center of attraction, climaxing. My bitches, they be laughing. They howl sniffing coke off of 20 shit, Andrew Jackson. No, he's not.
Coop's
fucking
only
with him.
Coop's
He's
only
not
giving me 4
fucking with him.
bars.
He's
Coop's
not
going
fucking
the
with-
whole
He's
16.
not giving. He's not
He
fucking,
just go-
it's just always been this way, is what I'm trying to say. And so when people talk about Jay as the songwriter, it's like, show me the hooks.
Esquire with the
Show me
super
the
chat.
hook, songwriter.
Oh, Esquire with the super chat says, Jay on Can I Get Open is not the same Jay on In My Lifetime. That's fair. Says, like Jay, one of Wayne's gifts is adaptability. As a teen, he was rapping like the Hot
That's fair.
Boys. When he was a Hot Boy, when the Hot Boys disbanded, he adopted an East Coast flow. Okay, Esquire, that's a good one to bring into the courtroom here. You know what?
Esquire don't got no evidence.
That is some evidence. Can I Get Open Jay is different. And Jay on Hawaiian Sophie is different. I've said on this show before, I feel like, Jay pairing up with Sauce Money changed his flow forever. That is adaptability. But again, even with Can I Get Open Jay, he doesn't sound like a whole different guy. Wayne sounds like a whole
Jay is
different guy.
Here's what you have to understand about Jay. Jay's talk has never really changed.
No, it hasn't.
Who he was before Reasonable Doubt, who he was on Reasonable Doubt when he really gets his notoriety, and who he is. The talk is consistent, Mike. That's why it's like I'm comfortable telling you he's a chauvinist, because it's like, no, I've heard Reasonable Doubt, heard In My Lifetime, I've heard Volume 1, heard Volume 2, heard Volume 3, Mike. It's like, no, the motherfucker's definitely a chauvinist. He's a great chauvinist, Mike.
I see a
Great at
stat here. It says, Can I Get Her peaked at number 19, and Hard Knock Life peaked at number 15 on the Hot 100, Coop. Hard Knock Life was the bigger record. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, if Nicki is out of the conversation if we have to specify when she raps. So if Nicki is out of the conversation if we have to specify when she raps. Drake is the same thing since we always have to specify.
No, Drake asked
that
me
for
rapping
him
all the
too,
time. That's some
don't we?
bullshit. That is some bullshit,
You
Mike.
don't rap enough?
Drake raps all the time, and
Drake raps way more than Kendrick does.
Drake Mike, we talking about a Drake and Nicki rap conversation? Like, really? Drake raps, Mike. He raps way, way, way more than Nicki.
Yeah, he got bangers.
He might rap more than Wayne at this point, Mike.
Esquire with the super chat says the progression of Wayne's flow on 500 Degrees to the Carter is more gradual than you realize. The Squad Up mixtapes is when he emerged as a lyricist, just like Dedication 1 and 2, and where the Carter 2 Wayne emerged. You know, I will give you that. 500 Degrees did have his moments. I remember hearing Where You At, where he was like running through the forest and stuff like that. I was like, yo, Wayne is flowing on here. But it's still what, and I think Gilly was actually around for 500 Degrees too, if we want to be technical.
Hold on, Mike. This is
now,
what I'm
he
saying.
didn't rap like that on The Way of Life, which was the first single.
This is what.
So I know what you're talking about, Esquire. I was there.
Okay, Mike. Let's go to Jay's 3 biggest records on Hard Knock Life. One's got Annie on the hook, right?
Yep.
Another one's got Emil on the hook.
Yep.
Another one's got Ja Rule and Emil on the hook. Right.
Can
I get a nigga what nigga who in Hard Knock Life?
I was gonna say Money Ain't a Thing, but okay.
Money Ain't a Thing ain't on the damn album, Mike. It's a bonus
It
track.
is.
That's
It's
on
on the
JD's album, Mike.
It's on Jay's album too.
No. Hold on. Which album came out first, Mike?
Oh, Jermaine.
By how many months, Mike? Like 10.
By
Stop
a
making
lot.
it. Yeah, so stop making it seem like that's Jay's track. That's JD's track. But this is what I keep trying to tell people about Jay. It's like when you talk about this songwriter, it's like, oh, Hard Knock Life is not him like songwriting in full with a hook. That's 45 King giving him a hook. That's Timberland and Emil giving him a hook. That's Ja Rule giving him a hook. He's had a lot of help. Mike, Big Pimpin', that's Bun B. Some of his biggest shit, that's why I keep trying to tell y'all, it's like, if you go listen to his biggest shit, there's always somebody on the hook. So when you're talking about this full songwriter, there is no Made You Look, You're a Slave to a Page in My Rhyme Book, because even Dead Presidents is a fucking Nas sample, Mike. So stop talking about this full
game is
stop talking about this full songwriting game that he has when most of your biggest J records that you all love, somebody singing his fucking hooks, Mike. Run This Town, anybody? I can run it down the line to you, Mike, down to the
Dirt
city
Off
is
Your
mine.
Shoulders.
The city is mine. Mike, where's Dirt Off Your Shoulders at on his records? Like, because think about Change Clothes is a bigger record than Dirt Off Your Shoulders. And think about his biggest record, Mike. Who's singing the hook on his biggest record? That's Pharrell and Young Chris. That's not him. Give It to Me. Give me that.
That's
that
Pharrell
sweet,
and
Young Chris. That's
not
Chris.
Young Chris.
That's not Chris. That's Chris, Mike.
No, it's not Young Chris.
Who is
that, guys?
That's Chris.
No, it's not. I know his name too. It'll come to me in a second.
Sure, that's not Young Chris, because Chris wrote that hook. You know, Chris is the one that told him to take the Rick James shit and flip that. You know that, right?
Nah, it's somebody else. Because I remember.
But
he
you
was
know,
on the
Young. But
podcast
I'm gonna say
talking
this
about
again about his songwriting game. You know, Young Chris gave him that shit though, right? So go look at his biggest hits and talk about this full songwriting shit. It's like, no, you missing it.
It's Melio or something.
Mike, Feeling It.
Skino did it.
Is that Skino?
Yeah.
You sure that's not Chris?
Yeah.
So Feeling It, Mike. Jay doing the hook on Feeling It.
Fill the glass to the top of
Can't
my
Knock the
head.
Hustle, Mike. Ain't No Nigga. Where the hook at for this full songwriter? Did you see how much of his shit I just ran through where he didn't even touch the hook?
So you're putting Jay-Z's hook game on trial, sounds like.
Mike, his hook game always been on trial. That's why he's never been the greatest. His hook game ain't like that. What's Jay's best hook, Mike?
Off the top of my head.
I'm out for presidents to represent me.
Nah, I wouldn't say that's his best hook.
No, what's his best hook?
hook?
What's his best hook that he actually spit?
I want to ask the people
Look
that
at you
off
struggling.
the top of my head,
I got
would
made
say
you look. I got made you look, Mike.
at the top of my head, I would say Dirt Off Your Shoulders.
Mike, if that's the best, then there's a reason that he deserves to be number 2 forever.
Trying to think.
Rakim got better hooks than that, Mike. You need to stop that.
Mad Max of the Super Chat says, but Lauren rapped less than Nicki. And Coop will disrespect the whole women field by saying that she is the best MC. And she sang more than she rapped. Fair.
And she still made more full rap songs than Nicki. Say what?
Mitch with the Super Chat says, you think Drake coming at K-Dot's head on this album? For sure. And we're going to talk about it.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait for it.
And I can't wait. Right.
Looking forward to Friday. And, you know, no disrespect to K-Dot. I love K-Dot. I think Kendrick's incredible, but I love the competition. Anime Bros podcast with the super chat says Jay's biggest records aren't his best. So who cares?
So let's get to those hooks again, Mike, because what you'll find out is with his best songs, there's not even hooks on there. I'll tell you what I
So
thought.
hook games make you the GOAT?
No. Don't you need to do everything, Mike?
I would say so.
Okay, so Mike, think about this. What's the hook to Imaginary Player Streets is Watching? Because I think Streets is Watching might be his best hook. Streets is watching, blocks keep clocking, waiting for you to break, make your first mistake. That might be his most memorable shit on the hook, or Where I'm From. Cough up a lung, Where I'm From, Marcy, son, ain't nothing nice. Yeah.
Comes to that
See, he's great. He's great with 4-bar hooks, Mike, like that little quick in and out.
You know what his best hook is?
What?
It's not even his song. I'll be. Straight out the gate, y'all. We drop hits. Tell me, how nasty can you get? All the way from the hood to your neck of the woods. It's real. One thing for sure. It is.
I like Nas's hook on "Gimme Yours" on "Do or Die" better than that shit. So
Leroy Green with the super chat says, "Coop, where is Young Chris? Reasonable Doubt, Volume 1, Blueprint, Black Album, etc." Right.
Okay, Mike. I'm gonna say it again. Can't knock the hustle. Feeling it. Ain't no nigga. What them hooks look like?
Leroy Green, what is his best hook though?
What them look like,
Jay's
Mike?
Best hook?
Volume 1. City is Mine is Blackstreet. Sunshine is Babyface.
Yeah.
I'm not making this
Who
shit
you
up.
with?
Who you with might be it. I fuck with who you with.
Yeah, who you with?
I'm just pointing out the obvious. See, people don't like it. See, people think when you tell them the truth about Jay that you don't like Jay. It's not that. It's just that like I always knew what it was.
A week ago.
That's too short.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
The illest shit, that's the best song on Volume 2, Mike.
Oh, you know another one. I like It's All Right.
I like that hook.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the Hey Poppy hook.
Hey Poppy's great.
I'm not saying he don't have hooks. I'm saying it ain't like that. I'm saying when you're bringing up his most memorable shit, ain't no fucking hooks with Jay on there like
Let's
that.
see.
Dead Presidents, Feeling It, Can I Live, maybe Regrets, Friend or Foe. Like, what are the hooks to these records? 1,000,001 Questions? That's what I'm saying, Mike. Imaginary Player? Where the hooks? Since he's this full encompassing songwriter. Mike, where the hooks?
Dot with the super chat says,
Say less.
Nostradamus is aging better than a lot of Jay's music. Y'all are LP
somebody's-
with the super chat says, Do-Rags, My Way hook is greater than Jay's catalog. Regret is it.
Told you Regrets. Regrets came to my mind too. That might be that's the best hook on Reasonable Doubt that he wrote is Regrets.
They're
Mike,
saying that I'm a Jay stan that can't name a hook. I'm just trying to.
You are, Mike, because it's like you trying to take up for him, but it's like this is why. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm just proving to people why.
I've said this before on this show,
no.
but I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
No, I'm
here.
just proving to people. No, I'm just trying to show people it's like, oh no, he was always number 2. Have you not been paying attention? You feel what I'm saying? If you're paying attention, you know he's always 2. Mike, let's go to the Blueprint. The best hook on the Blueprint? Like, how about this? The Blueprint is the album people gravitate to because that's his best hook work, Mike. The Takeover. Girls, Girls, Girls. All I Need. Heart of the City. Like, oh, that's not even him, but it's like he kind of like does like the breakdown. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, but his best hook work is the Blueprint. That's why people revere the Blueprint so much. But Mike, think about how far he was.
Takeover?
Oh, I love the Takeover hook.
Yeah, me too.
I love that hook. It's not the Ether hook though. You see the difference? You see the difference? But the difference between no, they're not, Mike. Because one is 2 hooks. One is 2 hooks. One is 1 hook. That's not comparable. That's why I keep trying to tell you. The difference between them as MCs is actually on the hooks to the diss records. Because Jay's cocky and not as good of a hook, like ROC. We running this rap shit. No, Mike, that's not fucking with your soul of ether. Teach you the king who know you. Godson across the belly. I prove you lost already. Them is not the same level of hook, right?
No, I think they're pretty comparable.
Says who, Mike?
I mean, my opinion.
Mike, so you really think that ROC, we running this rap shit is the same thing as is the same thing I fuck with your soul of ether, which is now officially an adjective for destroying somebody's career. You think that's the same thing hook wise?
I think that the way they came across sonically, I think they're comparable.
You're
but
talking
I
about
do
the
think
beat.
No, I'm talking about the flow, the delivery, him shouting out his crew. It was the takeover. I mean, it made sense.
How did that takeover go exactly, Mike? The hook couldn't have been like that because guess what? Stepped on.
Celeste with the super chat says, y'all talking about Emilio Sparks on that I Just Want to Love You hook. Yes, definitely.
Oh,
that's what I'm talking
Sparks.
about.
Not Oskino, Sparks.
Yeah,
I thought it was Chris.
Emilio Sparks, yeah.
I think
he
Chris
says,
is still
salute
that
and keep repping for the culture. Yeah, for sure. Appreciate y'all getting us right. And I knew It was one of the two. Mitch with the super chat says Nas' hook on "Give Me Yours" and the original "Life Is Like a Dice Game" is better than Jay-Z's hooks. I love "Life Is Like a Dice Game."
I love "Give Me Yours."
I love Life
How
Is
about
Like
this?
a Dice.
People always talk about how Big was singing hooks in '95. It's like, so is Nas. Give me, just give me what you can't get back. 4 to 5 boroughs. Mike, that's a double entendre. 4-5 as in 4/5 as in the 45 Cal gun, but 4 to 5 boroughs too. It's a double entendre with the hook. He's always been better.
He's a great writer. Leroy Green with the super chat says, "Coop, if Jay was that bad at hooks, we wouldn't even be talking about Jay as being great. He wouldn't have a career. You can't be Jay-Z and be trash with the hook."
I didn't say he was bad with hooks. I said the reason that he was always number 2, you can go to the hook writing at their peak and see the difference in the hook writing. Even at their peak, it's always been this way. That's why I'm bringing up old Jay-Z records and bringing up old Nas records. He was always a better hook writer. Always. How You Like Me Now? I go blow. It's the shit that moves crowds, making every ghetto foul. I might have took your first child, scarred your life, crippled your style. I gave you power. I made you buck wild. Name the hook on Reasonable Doubt better than that, Mike.
Esquire got some hooks for us. Esquire with the super chat. He says,
no bar work. Esquire don't got no bar work.
He got Who You With, So Ghetto, The Rock Boys. There we go. The Rock Boys in the building tonight.
I like So Ghetto better than The Rock Boys as far as the hook.
I love The Rock Boys.
I'm so gangster, prissy chicks don't want to fuck with me.
Dope hook. But I like The Rock Boys hook. He got ignorant shit here. Take Over, Song Cry, This Can't Be Life, Still DRE. It's a good one. I'll Be, a phenomenal hooks. But I get your point.
Mike, is that Made You Look?
You a slave to a page in my rhyme book. I think that Made You Look. Is
that I Gave You Power?
I Gave You Power is a different kind of song.
No, I mean, we're talking about his best hooks. So I'm bringing up Nas's best hooks.
I think the Rock Boys could actually contend with Made You Look's hook, but I would still give it to Made You Look.
Mike, nobody thinks that. Nobody.
This is that ignorant shit you like.
That's not.
I didn't really love
it.
You know what? I really didn't love the hook for ignorant shit.
He's not a great hook writer. Mike.
I like the verses.
It's okay.
You know, they're all actors looking at themselves in the mirror backwards. Don't even face themselves. Can't feel no rappers.
It's okay.
They're all weirdos, De Niro's in practice.
It's okay.
So don't believe everything your earlobe captures. It's mostly backwards, unless it happens to be as accurate as me and everything said in songs you happen to see. Actually believe half of what you see, none of what you hear, even if it's spat by me.
Listen to what I'm about to say. Lyrically, if we're talking verses, he's closer to Nas on the verses, and it's more comparable to compare the verses than it is the hooks. On the hooks, Nas is whooping his ass. It's always been this way. That's why I'm bringing up the old hooks now. It's like, no, Mike, how about this? It's like even the chant hooks. It's like, what's Jay's best chant hook? Because the world is yours. It's better than that. Made You Look. I Gave You Power. The setup with Havoc, Mike, I'm pretty certain that they wrote that hook together. It's like, no, it's like, yeah, he's got, Mike, Shootouts. How you feel about Shootouts, Mike?
I love that hook.
Right.
Shootouts are similar to Wild West. Broad daylight, face to face without a vest.
You know the episode.
Uh-oh, we got Uncle Fram in here, man.
Camouflage and spectacles. Please, God, just save the lies that were never sold. See, it was written but was never told. Peep the jewels, black man, it's even better than gold. People rolling iron.
Hook.
Police rolling high pursuit.
It's
trying
a lot
to
of
stop
words,
the loot.
though.
Fuck Jake. Cock and shoot.
It's a dope hook.
It's
the
a
writing,
dope-ass hook.
The writing
is supreme, Mike. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's like
Jay doesn't have those wordy hooks.
Even
like
Black
that,
Girl
though.
Lost. Diamonds all shining, looking all fine. Pretty little face, get a little high. Young girl struggling, trying to survive. No, he's just better. It's always been this way.
Dot with the super chat says Nas Foul Breeze hook doesn't get talked about enough. Foul Breeze is crazy. Y'all put me on the Foul Breeze. I had never heard that song
The do-rags,
before.
his back fitted hat, snorkels and furs. Rikers Island bus is still packed. What's the word?
The drinkers stay drinking,
a puffin' they herb,
and I'm still enjoying life's ride. One more time. Max
Stop
with the super chat says that hook on I Gave You Power is fire. Uncle Fram, here we go with the $20 super chat showing love. He says, Coop rapping on Coop rapping on your hook doesn't make a great hook. That's why Nas gassed out in his performance live, because he leaves nothing for the crowd to sing along to. Nas' songwriting skills never pay attention to that.
Why are we talking about live performances when we talking about hook writing? You see how he tried to change the narrative? We talking about hook writing though.
But
we're not talking about.
He's saying that Jay makes his hooks to translate live.
Oh well, if
whereas
that's the
Nas
case,
doesn't.
if that's the case, then he's not KRS-One or Kane because their shit translate hook wise better live than Jay shit. So stop saying that. And so do Snoop and like countless others. His hooks ain't like that.
What do you feel about the Still DRE hook?
How about this?
That's a great one.
How about this? Can Jay go and do a show by himself and do his biggest songs without having people appear to do the hooks the way Nas can? Because Nas can do a full set of his songs that people know the hooks to, that he wrote the hooks to, without people showing up. There don't need to be no Rihanna showing up. There don't need to be Too Short showing up. Emil don't need to show up. Ja Rule don't need to show up. Foxy don't need to show up. Mary J. Blige don't need to show up. You understand? You want to know how I know this? Because I actually went to Madison Square Garden and I watched the shit happen. Right. When Jay performs, there's a reason that everybody comes. Because they have to. Because they're part of the records. They're part of the moments. There is no completing these records and giving them the full live feel without him by himself. Because he ain't never did the hooks like that. It's always been this way. I'm not trying to castigate him. He's still the second greatest
Sounds
MC.
like it.
No, he's still the second greatest MC. He's still the second greatest MC of all time, in my humble estimation. But there are some gaps, and people got to stop acting like these gaps ain't real. Watch. When the last time y'all seen Jay do a show, and Jay just do a show by himself? He can't do that because all of his records and all of his big records that y'all love, they're attached to so many people. Y'all are not coming to see Jay perform Imaginary Players like that. My black ass is. Y'all not.
I'm trying to go to the Rock Nation brunch. I
You
don't
are
know
not
what
going
you're
to-
talking
you-
about.
first of all,
I
Mike-
have no idea what you're
First
talking.
of
I
all-
disagree.
First of all, the brunch is dead. The brunch is
The
dead.
brunch is not dead. It's
Brunch is
alive.
dead.
It's
Is it
not
what-
dead until Jigga Man says it is. Leroy Green, on that note, with the Rock Nation hat. Leroy, make sure you give me an invite to the brunch.
Man,
Says
keep
Coop.
that brunch.
He said, Coop, you and I are both in the clubs we're both in the clubs during Jay's prime years.
Yes.
So you know how terrorized in the arenas, and Nas wasn't that. He said, you know, he terrorized in that arena, and Nas wasn't that. Respectfully.
And now that
What do you
time-
think about Do It Again?
I love Do It Again.
It's a dope hook, but they say he
Ooh.
took that hook.
He did. I love Do It
They
Again.
said-
That's one of my favorite hooks, actually, from one of his records. But this is what I'm trying to say is like, now go look back and look at history. Okay, so Mike.
Did I
If w- if-
skip a super chat
I
from
don't know.
Mad
If
Max?
we're
Go ahead.
if we're doing their 20 biggest records,
Mhm.
how much Jay help need versus how much help Nas need? Because if Jay's doing his 20 best and biggest records or whatever, he need about 10 to 12 people to come out, Mike. Nas needs AZ to come out. Right. I'm gonna say
What do
that
y'all
again.
say to
I'm
that?
gonna say that again. If Jay does his 20 biggest and best records, he need about 10 to 12 people to come out. If Nas does his 10 to 20 best records, he just needs AZ to come
You
out.
think so?
Mike, Made You Look's a solo mission. It ain't hard to tell as a solo mission.
You
The
don't
World
know?
Is Yours is a solo mission. No, he can do You Don't Know. That's still 10 to 12, Mike. What about the rest of it? That's what I'm trying to tell
Heart
you.
of the
is
city.
Mike, ain't no love in the heart of the city.
Sample?
Thank you. That's why I'm saying.
Are you talking about with no sample hook?
No. I'm saying like if he wants to put on a show, let's say
Yeah.
we were doing a Versus Live,
Right.
and we're talking about these 20 best and baddest songs that you're talking about. I'm telling you, the only thing that Nas needs to do is bring out AZ one time. Who does Jay need to bring out? Because Jay need to bring out Bun. He need to bring out Mary. He need to bring out Ja. If X was here, he need to bring out X. He need to bring out a lot of people to win that, Mike. Because stop making it seem like the records that he got by himself.
He got Hard Knock Life by himself. Well, featuring Annie, I guess.
No, that's cool.
Mad Max.
If I
with
Rule the World, and then If I Rule the World plays, and that's better than that. So we can go ahead and call that.
Is it?
Yeah, If I Rule the World's better than
If I Rule the World's better than Hard Knock
And
Life.
it
We
plays
need a
more,
poll for
hold on,
that.
it's actually more classic and it plays more, Mike. Like I don't hear Hard Knock
I'm not
Life.
a fan of either song, to be
I'm not
transparent.
I'm not big on either song like that, but I hear If I Rule the World way more now than I do Hard Knock Life because If I Rule the World is Mike timeless theme versus trying to fit in with the times, and that's really what this comes down to.
Standing
when we're talking
on the
about
corners bopping. Mad Max to the super chat says, Mike, you skipped my super chat, but I said that Coop will disrespect the whole women MC saying Lauren is the best, but she sang more than she rapped, but he slights Nicki. I didn't skip that. I read that. You must have,
and
service must have cut out for a second, Mad Max.
And I'd like to say, show me just one Nicki song on comparable with doo-wop. One. Like, give me one Nicki song on par with doo-wop.
Not
all
Lost
these
Ones?
rap songs. No, that's what I'm saying is like, and then after that we can go to Lost Ones, and this conversation will be over, and you will understand why I feel that way. Nicki don't even have 2 rap songs fucking with Lauren's best shit.
Not even Want Some More?
How many people? Hold on.
Want Some More is just her.
Is it?
Yeah. Mad Max of the Super Chat
Mike.
says, it said, Nas and I love Nas, but Gimme wasn't some great hook. In case someone give me yours.
Like, give me yours.
And he never had these next great hooks acting like 50, acting like he 50. Coop, stop it.
I never said he was 50.
Yeah.
I never said that. 50, Method Man? Like, no. That's different.
Yeah.
I never said he was that, but he damn sure better than Jay. He always been better hook writer than Jay. Like always.
Mitch with the Super Chat says, Nas also knows when he is to not need a hook or have a short hook. And he lets the beat play out as the chorus, like on Purple.
Or one mic. All I need is one mic.
Yeah. Or the world is yours.
That's what I'm saying.
Esquire with the Super
It's
Chat
got better hook,
says,
man.
Jay delegates a lot of his hooks he wrote a week ago. Fun fact, Face originally slated to be on there, but Jay laid his verse before Face finished writing.
Mm-hmm.
Jay is, man, he's a machine.
Speaking of Face, favor for a favor.
Yeah.
Right. I wet who you want wedded. I wet who you want wedded. Any nigga can get it. A
AB
favor for a
Studios with the
favor.
Super Chat says, can I get an encore? Do you want more? And Lucifer. That's my guy, though.
Hold on. First of all, Lucifer's Kanye.
And so is Encore.
Kanye wrote Encore too?
Come on.
Mike.
Can I get an encore? Do you want more? Crooked Raw with the Brooklyn. Come on, man. That's yay, man.
Mike, then why are
Let's
you
not play around.
Mike, then why are you taking up for Jay when his whole
I'm
career
just
he's
trying
had
to
everybody?
play devil's advocate.
No, I'm just saying.
That's why-
So we can go through all of his stuff pretty much except for the blueprint and say to ourselves, it's like, well, he's never really done hooks like that, right?
Yeah.
And is hook writing not
He
a big,
delegates.
hold on, is hook writing not a part of this?
I guess when you start splitting hairs.
When you start splitting
between,
hairs about the
you
greatest
know,
MC of all time,
top threes and stuff.
right? Because
Well,
here's-
what's Biggie's hook game like?
first of all, I'm glad you're bringing that up. It's way fucking better than Jay's. I don't want to live no more. Sometimes I hear death knocking at my front door. I'm living every day like a struggle, another drug. I'm living every day like a hustle, another the drug to juggle, another day, another struggle.
Okay.
Big Papa, that's Biggie. I love it when you call me Big Pop.
That's
but
kind of a sample.
raise your hands in the air. No,
Yeah,
that's still
yeah,
Biggie.
yeah. We
To
was
the
the
honeys
truth.
getting money, playing
fellas
niggas like dummies.
dummies.
Because I see some ladies tonight. This shit. When has Jay ever did a hook that infectious? Stop
Yeah,
that.
I think Big Papa is
Stop-
better than any
stop
J
that.
hook.
Stop
yeah,
that,
I gotta
Mike.
give you that.
Mike,
I
the
give
back
you
and
that.
forth, the back and forth with Meth on the what? Yeah, Mike, his hook game always been better.
What was the hook for the what?
Fuck the world, don't ask me for shit. And
Man, Method
everything you
Man's
get, you
on
got
there.
to work
Hard
hard for it, honey. Shake your hips, you don't stop. And
Yeah.
niggas pack the clip, keep on.
Verse 2.
Coming with that old Hebrew, met the cow, putting niggas back in ICU. I'm lifted true. You
You can bring your whack ass crew. I got connections. I get that ass stuck like glue.
That's what I'm saying. He's always been better, Mike. He's
Ohio
always been a
K with
better
the super
hook
chat says, just a few Nas hooks that don't get talked about. Mastermind, Drunk by Myself, and
Drunk by
Life We
Myself.
Chose.
Hold on.
What a catalog.
Hold on, you want to talk about Biggie's hook game? Kick in the door.
Wave
Wave
in
in
the
the 4-4.
4-4.
All I heard was Papa, don't hit me no more. Mike, what's beef? Beef is when
When
you
your
need
niggas
two
ain't
gats
just
to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Beef is when your moms ain't safe up in the streets.
Beef
is when I see you, guaranteed to be in ICU. Mike, niggas bleed just like us.
Yeah.
Picture me being scared of a nigga breathing the same air as me.
Mm.
Right.
Mm.
Mike, you want me to keep going? We can keep running down life after death some more.
Mm.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, no, he got him.
Right.
Yeah, he got
Hold
him.
on, Mike. Hold on. You're nobody.
Great hook.
Till somebody.
Where'd they get that from?
Kills you.
Where'd they get that from? Where was
Right.
that sample from?
Shit,
That's not
crazy.
an original hook,
It's
but
not,
it's still
but
dope.
Stop playing.
Dame with the
me.
super chat
It's
says, "Coop, is Jay perceived? I'm sorry. Is the Jay perceived hook weakness same as Nas perceived entendre weakness?
Nas doesn't have an entendre weakness. You could say the hit weakness. If you wanted to compare Jay's weakness in hooks to Nas's weakness in making hits, I would give you that. But when you're talking about entendres, it's like, okay, so you haven't been paying attention.
Uncle Fran with the super chat says, "Coop, I never want to say this because it's not my style, But that Nas Madison Square Garden show was not up to the quality compared with most of Jay's live concerts. Coop, I have evidence if you want it.
Okay, I have evidence for you too. Show me a Jay concert where Jay only brings out, how many people did Nas bring out? He brought out Mary J. Blige and AZ, I think, and Hit Boy. Show me a Jay concert in Madison Square Garden where he only brings out 3 people and we can have the conversation. Because what you're going to find during a Jay-Z Madison Square conversation, Mike, a concert is fucking everybody showing up because they have to fill the fucking roster of the songs. So go ahead, Uncle
Did
Fram.
he do that on the B-side show, though?
Go ahead and get... Mike, the B-side show got people too.
Did it? I need to go back and listen to it.
Go back and look, Mike. I ain't never seen a Jay show without at least 10 niggas coming through.
So, all right, even the Unplugged?
I ain't never seen a Jay show. Like me, I done been to see Jay shows before. Like, I've never been to a Jay show without 10 niggas.
He didn't have a lot
through.
of people on the Unplugged.
The Unplugged, Mike?
Yeah. Jaguar Wright did the hooks. And did Mary come out? I think she came out for something. I think she came out and did Can't Knock the Hustle. That was it.
You got to go to Unplugged in 2001, Mike, to talk about Jay
Well, I
not
mean,
having a lot of help on
I'm just
stage.
trying to use some
Should just say
examples.
less, Mike.
I'm just trying to use some examples.
I'm not saying this to downgrade him. It's just like you have to understand like what the shit really is because sometimes it gets inflated because of how the media always looked at him. And
Yeah.
it's not the reality of the matter. The reality of the matter is most of the songs that you notarize Jay for have somebody else on the hook.
So
Now,
you're
how is
saying
he the
that to
greatest?
be
When Prince and Michael Jackson are singing songs, Mike, who you hear on the hook? When you hear Stevie, like who you
No, no, no.
hearing?
for him to be in the Songwriters Hall of Fame, you would think that his hook game
Hook
has
game's
to
just
be
not like that.
special because that's a big part of writing songs.
Hold on, Mike. Notice when you talk about Dead Presidents, you say, well, that's his best mic performance. When you talk about You Don't Know, talk about his best mic performance because
Yeah.
you want to know why ain't no goddamn hook he wrote. To
No,
it.
no, I agree.
So it has to be a mic performance. It can't be his best song. Mike, what's his best song where he did the hook?
His best song where he did the hook. All of my
Yes,
favorite
3
Jay
verses
songs.
and a hook. Like we get on Andre 4. Where's Jay's best 3 verses and a hook? Because Dead Presidents is a Nas sample, Mike. You don't know
You
it's a
might not
Kanye
like
sample.
this. You might not
No,
like
you
this,
might not
but
like how it sounds in
I
relationship.
think I might go with Kingdom Come or the Rock Boys. You know what? I'm going to go Rock Boys, actually. I think that's his best.
Somebody
hook.
help Mike pick a better song so Jay don't.
No,
look as
Rock
bad.
Boys is awesome.
Nobody, Mike. That's not like that.
No. The
If
Boys is
Rock
awesome.
Boy, Mike, if Rock Boys is Jay's best song with 3 verses and a hook, Mike, then I'm not even sure if he deserves to be number 2. So I need you to find.
You don't like
something
the
better.
Rock Boys?
Mike? If Rock Boys,
What's
is
wrong
his,
with the Rock
Mike,
Boys?
if the Rock Boys is his best 3-verse song with a hook,
It's either that
then
or Streets is Watching.
let's
but
go
it
ahead
de-
and slide Rock in back ahead.
But
of
it
Jay.
depends on your aesthetic and what you're
I don't
looking
take
for.
Streets of Watching. Don't do that.
Nah, the Rock Boys is great.
Streets is Watching.
I
is
think
better.
you're underestimating the
Chat,
Rock
Mike.
Boys.
Streets is Watching versus Rock Boys. This is about to be 80% to 20%.
No. I get that, but I'm just talking about like it's 2 different aesthetics because one is a hit and one's not.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I mean?
but Jay's hook on Streets is Watching is famous. I still say Jay's hook on Streets is Watching. Blocks keep clocking.
I guess people
Waiting
ain't
for you to
agreeing with
break.
me.
Make your first mistake.
You want to talk about this Drake album?
I hope Drake's real petty.
Oh, you already know he is. Drake's dropping Friday. I keep getting the name of this album wrong. It's like For All My Dogs or something.
Yeah.
Like it's like
Yeah, all my dogs.
got something to do with dogs, right?
Last year was the breakup album with Savage. It's
Yeah.
very, very emotional.
This man continues
Being very
to put
petty.
out music, and
Should be afraid.
And again, I'm glad Love came on this show earlier today to talk about how difficult it is to come up with music when you're always on the run. And we hear that in our artists that their first album is succinctly different than their second album because if they had a successful first album, then they're going to be super busy and they're going to have to adjust to this life with their second album. And we hear that adjustment in the drop of quality a lot of times, right? But for somebody who is this big, and I know y'all gonna say ghostwriters, he got like a sweatshop of writers or whatever. But for somebody to be this big and come out this consistently, and come with hit records, regardless of if it's in your palette or whatnot, we have to acknowledge that this is different, man. And he's calling out Kendrick specifically for the fact that I can't take no 5-year break. You think a nigga of his status could get away with taking a 5-year break? So that alone, to me, separates the two. Now, granted, I think that Kendrick's the better lyricist. But if we want to talk about better overall and having to deal with all the things that encompass being a great all-time MC, who fits more criteria?
Let me ask you something.
Just like what we just did with the hook thing, who fits the criteria more?
First of all,
Yeah,
let me tell you something.
feature game.
Let me tell you something, Nas.
Let's break it down.
Let me tell you something both Nas and Jay-Z don't want to do, and that's walk into a hook game battle with Drake because they both getting destroyed. Okay? That's the first thing. That's who he has hooks. He's one of the best 2 or 3 hook writers ever in the history of rap. Don't care how anybody feels about it. But Mike, here's what I'll submit to you. I told you this when we were actually talking about Jay in relationship to Big and how I feel. And I'm going to maintain this. First of all, Jay's comeuppance doesn't happen if Biggie's here. They do the same exact fucking thing and one does it better. The only thing that I'll give over Jay is that I've always felt he was more traditionally lyrically inclined than Big. And other than that, it's all Big. Mike, when it comes to Drake and Kendrick, guess what? Same fucking thing. Kendrick is more lyrically inclined than Drake.
It makes better albums. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The last album was just so bad, Mike. I don't even know how I feel about that anymore. The album was so terrible. That shit was terrible.
That we can't knock the rest of the catalog.
Yeah, the rest of that shit's super weak. That shit worse than Nostradamus, Mike. That shit worse than Kingdom Come and Magna Carta. That is some trash. Mike, it is literally, Mike, you know what it is, Mike? It's Dogfather levels of being whack. It's arguably, it's the wackest album I've ever heard a superstar at their peak make since Snoop did the Dogfather. And I still think the Dogfather might be better than that shit.
Wow, you really hate this album.
The album ain't no damn good. Stop trying to tell me it is.
The songwriting is exceptional.
That's so fucking cute. The songwriting's good.
The songwriting
That's
is exceptional.
Great.
You didn't like My Auntie is a man now.
Yeah, that's what we playing when we pull up, Mike. That's what we playing when we pull up. Matter of fact, Mike, when you Mike, when you and your soon-to-be future wife are riding in the car together, that's what y'all playing. My Auntie is a man now. That's what the lady in your life wants to hear.
I don't think I've heard that song since.
Let me ask you something. Does
2020?
Does your woman play Kendrick's album?
No.
Do you play Kendrick's album?
Not this one. I played other stuff like
because it ain't no damn good, Mike. Because it ain't no damn good. That's why. So the only thing that we know right now in 2023 that this man is better than this other man at is lyrically, because I can't even count on him to make a better album at this point. You talking about some old shit, Mike.
I am. I'm talking about historically. I'm not going to take that away from him.
Historically, he's a better album maker than Drake.
Yeah.
Historically, he's better lyrically than Drake. And
that's about it, honestly.
He's a better storyteller. There we go.
Okay.
Lyricist, storyteller, and
I agree with
an
that.
album maker. Mike, so if we were doing a criteria,
Drake beats him on a lot.
Like, he beats him on impact. He beats him on longevity. He beats him on voice. He beats him on versatility. He beats him on hook game. He beats him on hits, features. He literally beats him. We had a criteria of 9.
Yeah.
If we were to line it up right now, you want to line it up? Because Drake would win 6-3.
Uncle Fran with the super chat says, Coop, Jay was by himself at the 8 at Barclay shows. I remember that. The whole Magna Carta Holy Grail 444 and the Blueprint 3.
Oh God,
Coop,
y'all had to suffer through that.
Coop, you must have missed a lot of top quality.
Hold on,
just because you're a Nas fan.
Did he just say Magna Carta? What did he say?
About the tour.
No. What albums did he name? He said he heard Magna Carta, 444, and what else?
The Blueprint 3.
Okay, he stole money from all of y'all. Same way Kanye stole money from us from Donda.
I disagree.
Them is a bunch of whack-ass songs from whack-ass albums, Uncle Fram. Don't you ever bring that shit up again when you're sitting up here trying to make a case. Them is whack-ass albums with whack-ass songs with whack-ass criteria. If he performed records off those 3 albums specifically and went on tour, he stole money from people the same way Kanye still owe us a check from Donda.
I disagree with that.
We paid to go to Donda. Kanye owe us some money. Jay owe all these niggas money if he went out and did that. That is disrespectful to not do any reasonable doubt. No 97 Hove, no Blueprint Black Album, just stick people with 444 and Magna Carta. Mike, I would have walked out. Did Beyonce show up? At least for good night.
I'm sure. Mad Max in the super chat says 99 Problems is a classic hook. It's better than any Nas hooks. If you heard I forgot Girl Problems off of Baffy's son, I got 99 Problems with a bitch ain't one. That's Ice-T though.
First of all, I was about to say, first of all, I love the hook.
But that's Ice-T.
That's not his shit.
Yeah.
And that is one of his better records. I like 99 Problems more than you do, Mike. I think that might be his best story.
Yeah. Esquire with the super chat says Jay's B-sides were epic. B-side was epic. Where I'm from, Dynasty, Streets is Watching, Can I Live, The Evils, Dead Presidents. You got Hovey Baby, love that one too. A Million and One / Rhyme No More, Never Change, You Don't Know, Mama Loves Me. Were all solo missions for 2 hours. Shout out to Esquire for breaking that down.
Okay.
Mitch
I got
with
some
the
solo
super chat
missions. I
says,
got some solo missions.
Mr. Morale and the Mid Steppers is a 1.5.
This shit is terrible.
2.5.
Like it's one of the worst rap albums I've ever heard from a top tier artist, and I'm not gonna give out no hall passes. I'm not gonna let this shit go. I don't care. I don't care how much it streams. I don't care how much people tell me it's like yeah. It's like you don't ride to that shit. You don't like that shit. It ain't no damn good. Matter of fact, Mike, it's too late. It's too late. He done. Where the album at? Where Kendrick shit at? Do you see how Drake working? Mike, how many projects has Drake dropped? Is this Drake project number?
This might be project number 4 since Mr. Morale. No, I think Certified Lover Boy was slightly before Mr.
What project?
Morale.
No, it's after. What project is it since? Think about what Drake's done since Damn.
Yeah, man.
Think about that.
He's working, man.
Now, how about this? This is a guy that moves more numbers than anybody, short of Eminem, that is literally outworking this guy that everybody thinks is so great. Like he doesn't have to do this.
For his legacy, he can't afford to go out there and take a 5-year break.
He's got rap nigga aesthetics that Kendrick don't have. I don't think people are paying attention to me. It's like, no, Drake loved this shit more than Kendrick. He's active in this shit more than Kendrick.
He want to be the best more than Kendrick.
That's what I mean about he's on some rap shit, Mike. He's motivated about being the best and being considered all-time great more than Kendrick is.
Kendrick said it a few times, but the actions aren't there like it is with Drake.
Mike, we bringing up this Control verse that wasn't that good. We talking about a Control verse that wasn't that good. Because other than that, he's never been activated about saying he's the best.
The Control verse was overrated?
It is. What'd he say on there again, Mike?
I forgot.
Correct.
I remember the King of New York.
That's his most memorable verse, and nobody really knows it. It's like, no, that ain't no fucking mind playing tricks on you. That ain't no dead presidents. That ain't no verbal intercourse. That's not Ghost on Impossible. That's not Deck on
you don't
Triumph.
think Control is a top 25 hip hop verse all time?
25, Mike?
Many people would say it is.
Mike,
what do y'all think out there?
Mike, listen to me very carefully when I'm saying this, and I'm not exaggerating. I can come up with 100 verses better than that verse, including verses by him that would be included. That's not even his best verse. The third verse on Feel is better than that.
You think that's his best verse?
It might be.
Verse on Feel?
It might be.
Feels a standout.
Feels a standout. Has a lyricist.
You know, when he rhymed over
talking about some top 25 verses.
When he did that Black Friday, you remember him and J. Cole swap tracks or whatever? He went crazy on that.
What was that, 2012, 2011, 2010,
that had
2013?
That was around damn time.
When my daughter was like in fucking kindergarten or some shit, nigga. Like,
so why do you think Kendrick is kind of slow playing, putting out music? Now, I will say this.
You called it, Mike. He don't got it no more. Yeah. You called it before Mr. Morale dropped, and you like, Coop, the records ain't there because he don't got it. He don't got it. And we don't have no evidence that he has it.
We have evidence that he don't have it with the hillbilly stuff.
It's 2016.
To try to compare
damn
what Kendrick's doing with hillbillies to what Drake's doing with 21 Savage. Like, this hillbilly stuff is not it.
This is some plug talk right quick. Taj broke down to me why Hillbillies is a hit. But that's not good enough.
They're a group.
It's not good enough.
They're actually on...
She's talking about organically how it tracked. I get what she's talking about organically how it tracked and did numbers. Kendrick. And that's why I was trying to explain it. It's like, it's Kendrick, so it's going to do numbers. But it's like, please don't feed me that. Plug me up with something else, plug talk. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not strong like that. Drake's strong like that, Mike. Way Too Sexy is strong like that.
You talking like Kendrick's done. You think Kendrick's just done.
You the one that told me he was done before the album dropped, and now we are popping up
prediction.
A year after the album, and you're like, Coop, you think he's done? It's like, nigga, I'm piggybacking off of you. You told me. Mike, people don't remember this. It's like, I was literally on here talking to you. It's you need to stop talking about Kendrick like that. You need to stop being shady. He's coming, Mike. It's going to be great. It's never not been great, Mike. And then another year went by, and I was like, damn, Mike. I was like, Mike, you're starting to look right a little bit. Yeah. And then it's like another 6 months went by, and I was like, Mike, where this nigga at? And then the Super Bowl happened, Mike, and I was like, Mike, he's going to do something. And if he doesn't do something, I'm with you, and I'm worried. And then the Super Bowl happened, and Mike, what'd I do? I pulled up here, and I said, Mike, I'm worried. Yeah. You might be right. He might be done. He might not have it anymore. And then the album dropped, and I listened to it, and I said to myself, this nigga Mike was right. I was wrong. I got to get up here and go online and tell people how whack this fucking album is because it's fucking whack, Mike. The album fucking sucks. And you were right. I was wrong. And if this nigga is not done, he needs to provide us with evidence because to quote another rapper who don't rap enough, you're only funky as your last cut.
Yeah. You know,
his last cut don't cut the shit. The last few cuts don't cut the shit. The last album don't cut the shit. I don't give a fuck how many numbers he does on tour. I don't give a fuck how much it streams. Somebody told me, it's like, oh, Graduation's the biggest streaming album for his era. Like, that shit still ain't Late Registration or College Dropout. Fuck you talking about?
Well, for certain people it is. But again, I think Kanye's such a different animal.
Kanye different.
Yeah. Because
Kanye actually worked consistently.
Kanye's one of those guys. He's kind of like NERD in the sense where their favorite album or your favorite album by them is kind of based on where you were at in life when certain albums came out.
And that's
you know
cool.
what I mean?
Let me tell you where I'm at in life. I don't need Kendrick to be my motherfucking therapist. I can get my own. Nigga, make some rap music that we want to hear.
Kendrick said he's not your savior.
I can't please everybody.
This is what I'll say.
Kind of shit is that?
I think he can recover.
As soon as that nigga said that on record, I was like, count me out. I was like, I'm out. I was like, check. I was like, give me my bag.
Was that a pun as well?
No.
Count me out.
I was like, I'm out. As in, I'm out on him. As in, I'm not taking up for him anymore. I'm not calling him the best MC of this era. I'm not calling him top 10. I'm not giving him anything.
For one album? Is it the one album and the break, or is it the album?
It's the album and the break, and it's the way he expressed himself on the album. Like, ooh, I don't want all this. You all put this all on me. It's like, no, nigga, you went up and asked for it. We gave it to you, and then you disappeared, and then you fucked up when you came back. Fuck that.
That's fair.
No mercy. Mike, this ain't like fucking playing Madden. Ain't no 21 mercy rule. I'm not showing this nigga no mercy. The shit was whack. He needs to do something about it. You aren't top 10. You're not top tier. We don't have any evidence in the last 6 years.
Smoking on anybody's top 5.
He was never smoking on anybody's top 5, Mike. Even when you was talking about that smoking on your top 5, I was like, he was never better than Pusha T, even when he was active like that to me.
Well,
I got Daytona to prove it, Mike.
Well, I think Drake is going to go for that jugular. You know what I'm saying? Got you spilling water and everything.
It's bullshit. He got me pissed off. No, I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of people taking. I'm sick of people taking up for these niggas that don't really support them or even feed them the product that they want. You still support this guy? It's like he's not even making music for you no more.
Max with the super chat says Kingdom Come and Holy Grail are better than Mr. Morale. I think so too,
Mike. That's bad. It's bad.
Dot with the super
I told
chat
you
says,
Nostradamus was better.
I don't know about that.
The N album is better, Mike. Fried Chicken's on the N album.
It is.
Queens Get the Money's on the N album.
It is.
Y'all my niggas on the N album. Ain't no shit like that on this piece of trash.
Dot with the super chat says Kendrick always been boring. Don't get the hype.
No, that's the thing about it, Mike. He's been wildly exciting up until this point. Good Kid, Mad City is an exciting rap performance.
Yeah.
To Pimp a Butterfly is thought-provoking and introspective and lyrically dense and conceptually brilliant. Damn is a manifesto of all his skills and storytelling abilities. This album is some fucking trash.
I think that he can recover from this album, but will he? I don't think so. That's my prediction.
Mike, my point is that I don't give a damn anymore.
I think we've seen the best of
YG, Mike. YG running Compton. YG running Compton, Mike.
Well, Drake's about to go for the jugular, and this is about to be a real testament.
It's all bad.
If he doesn't respond adequately to what Drake's about to give him Friday, then he is really done.
I hope he goes for him.
I think he is. I think he should possibly dedicate a full song.
No, that's what I mean when I say goes. No, I want him to go.
So you predict the whole diss record?
I would love to hear.
I would love to
full, like a real. Because also too.
Kind of like a takeover thing.
Who Kendrick used to open up for?
Who
Kendrick used to open up for?
Mm-hmm.
How Kendrick buzz really get started for Good Kid, Mad City?
What's the biggest hit on Good Kid, Mad City?
Poetic Justice with who?
With Drake.
Oh, there's a lot of ammo, Mike. It's a lot of ammunition. He can play the.
Drake, if you're listening to the show, that's what the people want to see.
Mike, he can play the little nigga. I help you start your career card. That hurts in battle. Exponentially.
It does.
He's got a trump card that few people don't have over Kendrick. It's like, so how your career start? Right, with my shit, nigga. Here you go.
I want him to address the #2 on Billboard.
Very problematic.
That's what I want him to address.
Mike, that's where all this is coming from. Mike,
yeah.
this is coming from, he woke up one day and was like, he's
really?
#2? fuck on their mind. That's what I mean. He's a rap dude. He woke up one day like on some Wu-Tang shit. It's like, okay, so we need to kill a bee swarm on this nigga. It's like, no. Not letting this nigga out.
Like number 2, how?
And I'm number what?
Based on what?
I'm number what and he's number what?
Yeah.
He like,
that should have been Wayne's spot. And you know how Drake, you know what I'm saying?
And he loves Wayne.
He loves Wayne. I think he's probably more upset that Wayne ain't at that spot than him.
They collectively, the three of them collectively probably feel slightly disrespected, including Nicki. Like,
Wayne should feel disrespected too.
Wayne should feel more disrespected than Drake because I told you, Drake, as great as he is, Wayne, even with the writing shit that we talked about, has more claim to that shit.
Oh yeah,
than Drake does.
There's no way that Kendrick could beat Wayne in a verse.
Like how about this?
No way.
Even if you were to go Jay-Z, Wayne, Nas, Pac, Big, that makes more sense.
Yeah,
so the hip hop
generationally. Yeah. Esquire with the super chat says, so if we're giving Drake participation points for dropping mediocre projects like Honestly Nevermind, Scorpion, More Life, and Certified Lover Boy, they all came and went.
Yes, I respect niggas who go to work as opposed to niggas who don't.
But see, this is the thing, Esquire. You name like 5 projects. We got 1 in 5 years from the other guy.
Hold on, Esquire. Let me ask you something. Who do women respect? The man that gets up and goes to work every day, or the nigga that doesn't work all the time and depends on them? Like listen to what you're saying. So you got to start breaking it down into real life circumstances and understand this is what these guys do for a living. And never in any sort of concept anywhere else of being a man, is it okay for you to sit your ass down for 5 years and not do any fucking work and then come back with some subpar product? Show me the woman that's putting up with that shit. So we some men and we supposed to put up with other men behaving this way? This is what I mean about the work, about the practice, and acting like you care. Mike, we work all the time. When I'm not doing this show, I work 5 days a week at my professional job. Yeah. Then I do this 2 days a week, and I raise my daughter. Do you think that I am interested in hearing from a nigga that ain't been here in 5 years, and then he shows up and did that, and it's like, is that what the fuck you did with your free time?
Mitch with the super chat says, outside of Good Kid, Mad City and Section 80, I'm taking Take Care. Nothing Was the Same. If you're reading this, it's too late. Views. What is this? WNTTBA over the rest of K-Dot's catalog. K-Dot is kind of boring after Good Kid, Mad City.
It's bad that we got here, Mike. He did this to himself.
More Life is dope. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what
he did it to
Drake has coming, because I know that Drake did get that kind of backlash for Honestly Nevermind for not doing a rap album. But it's funny. He didn't rap on that whole album, but that one song that he did rap on was a banger. The song with 21, that shit's crazy.
Here's what you need to know.
Jimmy Hooks.
This is what I mean about...
Excuse me.
Yeah, Jimmy Cooks. That's that Old Firm sample.
That shit's hard.
That shit hard. Drake has old school rapper tendencies. That Billboard list made him feel tried. Mm-hmm. He feels slighted right now. I don't think people understand. Right. See, people always see Drake like the personality and the mogul and the brand and all that. That's why I keep saying, no, this nigga got rap nigga tendencies, Mike.
Oh, no. He's
competitive. So he's competitive. And what I think, what happens is when you get a guy like that has the fame and the notoriety and the money and really don't have to do his shit.
He just say, fuck.
But you try him.
Yeah.
Mike, this is about to be the best project that he's dropped in a long time. Quote me on it. Quote me on it. Because a nigga that feels tried, it feels different. Mike, I've told you
in a slower year or two,
Mike, I've told you
this is wide open.
This is what I mean. When you're just competitive, you're just competitive. I told you, Mike, about 4 months ago, I started looking for a new job. Everybody in this fucking city knows me. A company from New York reached out to me and gave me a job when I know everybody down in this city already knows me and knows what I do. And the countless people that I've done a job, part of why I'm going so hard right now, Mike, is because I've been fucking tried in my own city by these motherfuckers who I've helped build establishments for, made money for, made people rich, and helped get countless people jobs. And not one motherfucker wanted to give me a fair shake on the back end of my run. It's like, oh no, I know exactly what he's thinking and what he's feeling. You're about to hear some of his best shit. Because when you back somebody great into a corner at what they do, they will respond.
Yeah.
And I question Kendrick's greatness because when backed into a corner, did not respond and has not backed up all of his spiritual bullshit ass talk, because that's what it is. And it's definitely not backed up that control verse. Give me Drake, give me Cole, slide this nigga down until we have some further evidence.
You got him in third.
For this era, I have him third, which means he's nowhere even close to sniffing 10 anymore.
What I was going to say
whack
was,
ass album.
as far as Drake goes, right?
Whack ass album.
I don't think he's ever really talked about an album as much as he's talked about this one. And the fact that it was coming and the
He's
name
been
of it
tried.
for All My Dogs, it's like, no, he's
been
really gonna
tried.
take it there.
He's been tried. You don't.
You're gonna hear Drake rap this time.
You're gonna hear like 0 to 100 Drake is what I'm expecting. You feel what I'm saying?
I'm looking forward to
He's
it.
a he can be a rapping ass rapper.
And if Meltdown is any inclination of what we're about to get, I'm looking forward to it.
Like, how about this? I was never, as a Pusha T fan, excited about the Pusha T Drake thing because I'm like, oh, that's all bad for Drake. I don't feel that way based on what Drake's doing and how Drake feels right now. Because I'm looking at the tea leaves and I'm looking like, it's like, yeah, that don't mean you're supposed to try him, no.
Yeah.
He's a rapper.
He seems
just
really reinvigorated.
And just for some inside plug talk, this is something I haven't shared with people. When me and Taj first started talking, and this is like over a year ago now, she was like, Coop, you know, like, Drake be falling through and like can trade bars with Nas, like back and forth. And I was like, yeah. She like, nah, Coop, like for hours. She was like, them two can go spar for hours. And I'm thinking to myself, like, it's like, no, I knew he was nice. It's like, that's different.
Well, that's why a lot of the OGs respect him like that.
He's that kind. That's why Nas respects. No, he's that kind of nice. Like, they don't have a record together, but they rap. Like, he raps with Nas. Like, and can rap with him. And Nas respects, like, what he's like, on some creative shit when they hit the studio. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, you don't hear stories like that about Kendrick.
Well, Kendrick was in a photo with Nas. I think they were doing something.
So
Mitch with the super chat says, also everyone gets on Drake for not responding to the Control when he did so on the Language and Shit remix with Future and Juicy J in 2013. You know, listen, the time is now.
No. I don't think people understand me.
I don't want to talk about 10 years ago. The time is now.
That's confirmed. People inside that camp have told me, no. Drake is set up there and rap back and forth with Nas like when he done came through just like to say some what's up shit. Like, listen to what I'm saying. That's how much he loves this rap shit and is competitive, Mike. That's different when you're dealing with somebody like that.
J.I. Designs of the super chat says, did y'all hear Torre has joined the Tupac Wasn't a Lyricist Club on this podcast? Well, I remember listening to Tupac's final interview. And he called out Torre. And I think Torre is still salty about the fact that Pac wasn't fucking with him and didn't feel like he was, you know, a real journalist on that level, you know? And so I think Torre has gone on this whole Pac tirade his whole career, and he needs to put it to rest, man. Like, you need to explain why Tupac isn't a lyricist. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but obviously Torre has something personal with Pac.
Mike, nothing against Torre, but
I don't care.
He had his day, and even if he did break down and explain why he felt like Pac wasn't a lyricist, I wouldn't respect this shit. So next.
NR with the super chat says, taking Drake out of it. People gotta let K-Dot go. He has one mid-album and trash features for the last 5 years. What is there to be a fan of exactly? Well, his live performances have, you know, broken records. He's disappearing on stage and stuff, doing magic tricks and this and that. But I think that Drake is about to come and exceed those tour numbers. He's coming for everything, like you said in one of our previous shows.
So listen. Yeah, I told you he's coming for everything.
Yeah, he's coming for everything.
He's taking the tour numbers. He's taking all your shit.
Taking the tour numbers all out.
Taking your shit.
Yeah.
It's taking your shit in front of you. Yeah. You're just standing there taking it, first of all.
And he's going to wait for him to try to get it back.
I ain't with the shits. You start taking my shit, we going to start fighting like immediately. Like, it's like, oh, is that an inch that you took? It's like, yeah, you want to fight. But that's just me. But here's what I'm saying with the whole Drake thing is that, Mike, he's got rapper sensibilities. Rapper sensibilities. Where Kendrick rapper sensibilities that people keep on talking about, that they keep on leaning on. Like, when you're talking, let's go to this. He's known for his album making, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Kendrick is a better lyricist than KRS-One? Because I don't.
It's a tough argument to make.
And Mike,
if somebody said that they felt like he was, I would understand, but I personally don't.
No, they're going to have to explain where, Mike, but here's what I'll hit you
What do
with.
y'all think in the room? I want to hear what people say.
If Kendrick's so great, like lyrically he's not beyond KRS-One, he's not the album maker KRS-One is.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, Mike.
You never thought that? I mean, because you wrote this article once upon a time.
Top 10.
Exactly.
But KRS-One was already in my top 10.
Okay.
KRS-One already existed in my top 10 when I wrote that article, and I didn't put him ahead of KRS. Because here's what I know. Kendrick's made how many great albums?
I think
4?
I say Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City,
Pimp a
Butterfly,
Butterfly.
of course.
Damn. 4.
Damn.
4. Okay. So KRS-One got Criminal Minded, By All Means Necessary, The Blueprint, Sex and Violence, Return of the Boom Bap, KRS-One. You feel what I'm saying? So lyrically, you're not beyond KRS-One. Album-wise, you're not KRS-One. KRS-One often doesn't get mentioned the way that he should. You're not even KRS. So stop that shit.
What do y'all think?
That's that perspective that I'm talking about that people be lacking. It's like, oh no, if y'all think KRS done slid over time and people like Biggie and Nas and Jay have taken over KRS, don't get it confused and think Kendrick has. Because Kendrick, if what you're holding on to is lyrics and album making and storytelling, knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everybody. Mike?
People are saying I'm tripping. I'm just trying to be unbiased here. I don't want to be like, you know what I'm saying, the whole get off my lawn thing.
Where?
But I do think that there is a generation that would make the argument because of flow, because of storytelling, because of
like even for all that black
inflections and things like that, you know.
Kill that shit, Mike.
No, let's do it like this though. If we're
pull out the criteria,
if we're merging their albums together, right? How do we order that? Because I think Good Kid, Mad City and To Pimp a Butterfly are better than any album that KRS made.
I don't agree.
You don't agree with that? Okay.
I'll give you Good Kid, Mad City. I'm not giving you To Pimp a Butterfly over.
I mean, because
over
I
Criminal
think
Minded.
Criminal Minded.
To Pimp a Butterfly is not better than
KRS's
Criminal Minded.
best.
To Pimp a Butterfly is not better than Criminal Minded.
Really?
No.
You don't think so?
With
I'll
what?
put
With
Criminal
what
Minded
records, Mike?
third.
Where's the bridges over? Not my 9mm goes bang. My philosophy.
That's a
Stop.
Well,
that.
no. My philosophy is on another record.
It's on
but yeah.
right.
I mean, no, those are great records.
Hold on, Mike. Let's go down a couple things right quick. First of all, impact.
Well, that's Criminal Minded.
Mike, lyrics.
I think that's To Pimp a Butterfly.
Storytelling.
To Pimp a Butterfly.
No, Mike.
How much a dollar costs?
Love's Gonna Get You is better than How Much a Dollar Costs.
That's not on Criminal Minded.
Oh no, I'm talking overall, Mike. I'm talking about them.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the album.
Oh no, I'm talking about them. Like,
that's
what I'm saying.
No, I got you on that. I'm just
that's
talking about.
So
I
impact,
thought you said Criminal Minded is better than To Pimp a Butterfly.
No, it is.
On the album.
It is. We can do that another date. Mike, who's been more impactful to the culture, KRS?
KRS.
All right, who's the better lyricist, Mike?
I think KRS, but there could be an argument.
Let's say you called it a tie, Mike. Who's the better storyteller?
I think Kendrick's a great storyteller, but I'm still gonna go. I don't know, man. I gotta go Kendrick.
Okay, that's fine. Live performance.
But that's KRS.
Longevity.
KRS.
Catalog. Guest appearances. Voice.
Guest appearances. That's still KRS, huh? Voice. That's still KRS.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Kendrick's not KRS. Right. Mike, we be talking about these black themes. Kendrick ain't got no all yeah.
You don't think he got all right?
No. See, that's what I'm saying. Is that really a song for us? Is that a song for Kendrick? You got to start looking at the shit that he been doing. Is that Kendrick's ethos or is that an ethos for the people?
When I wake up, I recognize they're looking at me for the pay cut, but homicide be taking them from the face down. That back 11 nigga boom with the bass down scheming. Let me tell you about my life.
Let me tell you about, hold on, what'd he say?
My life.
Let me tell you about who?
His life. Painkillers only put me in the twilight. Right. We're pretty pussy and pigeon minutes to highlight.
Mike,
my mama, I love
Black Cop,
like.
Black Cop is about our struggle. All year is about our struggle. Right. Kendrick be making them black songs, but then black songs be for Kendrick. KRS makes black songs for us.
20, it's like 20 of them in my Chevy. Tell them all to come and get me, reaping everything I sold. Someone coming heavy, no preliminary hearing. Some record. I'm a motherfucking gangster. Solid for the record. Yeah, he's just spitting.
He's just spitting.
Yeah.
He's not really making songs for the culture like that, like people been saying.
Okay.
Right. KRS been making songs for the culture for a long time. Like from the motherfucking jump.
Cooper started up today. The
right,
real
I'm
Leonard Washington.
I'm just sick of the bullshit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
The real Leonard Washington with the super chat says, Mick Jenkins dropped an album of the year contending album. Y'all claim this album was dry, but skipped over one of the year's best releases. There's a few albums.
First of all,
You know what? There's a few albums
First
that
of all-
we have skipped. We do need to have a show. You know, somebody in the
first of all,
somebody in the chat.
no, I
in
ain't trying
one
to
of
hear
the
that
shows,
shit today either.
Hold on.
I love
somebody,
Leonard.
Somebody in the chat said, you know, they like the old format and want the old format back or whatever. Maybe we do need to pop up and, you know, kind of do what we've done previously and just talk some of these albums that have been
We can have an album pop-up talk, but it's like, I mean, I'm just gonna be frank. I don't love when people say that about this show when the numbers don't fucking reflect that.
I mean, people only engage with certain things, and it's
Right.
like,
y'all be picking and choosing y'all fruit with us. And
But
be
it's
like, oh, I
about
want y'all to
balance.
do this.
Though. It's about balance.
Like, no, I ain't doing
because we
that.
do got to talk music, and I do think that there are some quality albums that you know we might not have talked about, but we were about to talk about Russ's album,
Well,
and
that-
I want to see what the engagement's like for that.
Well, no, here's the thing. Hold on, and this is for Leonard, and I love Leonard. I fuck with Leonard.
Yeah, Leonard's one of our mods. Shout out to Leonard.
Right.
Always in the building.
One of the originators, you know, been here with us from jump. You know, and I fuck with Leonard. But here's the reality of the matter is like, well, today I saw Mike Jenkins' album and I knew what my time looked like. And I was like, okay, so we listening to Mike Jenkins' album or we listening to Russ? We chose Russ. And guess what? If Mike Jenkins' album is an album of the year contender, we're about to find out. But we did choose an album of the year contender album to talk about today because it's Russ's album. And the reality of the matter is that, well, we haven't been covering the music like that because when we go back, I mean, people have to understand we have analytics and data and numbers to look at. And when we look at our numbers, those projects that people keep telling us that they want us to cover and support, the numbers say that y'all don't show up and cover and support it like y'all should when we actually talk about those projects. So if y'all want us to like talk about those projects, I suggest you support us fully because it does not behoove us business-wise to talk about projects that literally have half the people in the chat, like some of the albums that we were covering a year and a half, 2 years ago. So this is me talking to our base too. Like, oh, you want us to do those albums? Everybody better fucking show up because it don't make no sense. Like I see people talking about they missed the Monday show, missed the Friday show, Mike. The Monday show is doing the same numbers as the Friday show.
Well, you know, it is what it is.
Like the numbers ain't no different.
If it's a great album, like Coop said, we're gonna get to it. It hasn't been a lot of, I guess, hoopla for any of the albums that have been dropping in anticipation.
Even Love said it was slow when we just interviewed her.
I was
She's
just
like,
about to say that.
Love just admitted
and
to
she's
it.
in the game. You know
She's
what
in
I
the
mean?
business. She's like,
that's
yeah,
why
slow.
I wanted to hear what she had to say about it.
She's like, yeah, it's slow outside, pretty much.
It feels like that, you know what I mean? And I don't know if some of the artists who are dropping quality, independent, or I guess modest albums are just not marketing it. But at the same time, man, y'all know we're out here and we would love to talk about it. We'll have you on like we had Love on to talk about it. But other than that, it's like, you know, if people aren't going to galvanize around it, it's kind of tough to have those conversations that, you know, disengage the audience. Because this whole show, we're not about, I mean, we're about, everything's about numbers, right? But we're more about engagement, right? We're about conversing with you guys. We're like the only hip hop podcast that does that. And when we start talking about stuff that only maybe 10 of our people who are in the chat are rocking with, everybody else disengages. And it's like, it kind of hurts the flow of the show in that way.
And people have to understand quality matters. So let's go back to 2020 when we started, Mike. I think the Locks album, Living Off Experience, was our 6th best rap album in 2020 when we got started.
Yeah.
Mike, that album would be runaway album of the year right now.
It really would.
It was our 6th
it'd
best.
Be like number 2 or something. Or no, it would be top 3. I'll say it that way.
Nah, Mike, it might. No.
You think Living Off Experience is better than Black Magic? I'm not Black Magic. Magic 2 and
Killer Mike.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Killer Mike, but I was gonna say
might be
Abolish Uncertainties.
Yeah, I think it's better than Abolish Uncertainties. It might be 3. But what I'm trying to say is that, well, look at how we have to look at it. It's like something that was like our 6th or 7th best rap album a few years ago would be like we'd be talking about as album of the year right now. That says something about the quality that's going on too. But we can talk about this Russ project right quick.
36 Chambers with the super chat says, Coop, what sets you apart and makes A2HH the best podcast is the music coverage, which is something lacking on other publications. The numbers may not show it, but the real fans pull up for that too. And that's
real. And I appreciate
that's
y'all.
The foundation.
Right. And I appreciate y'all who pull up But understand, Mike and I, quite frankly, are grown ass men, and it need to make sense for us to pull up too, fam. It's like I
It's
love
got to be
y'all,
a
I respect
balance.
for. Yeah, it's got to be a balance. We trying to give y'all what y'all want, but Mike, I'll never forget when, and this is not any knock against him, but I'll never forget how many people in here literally for weeks and weeks on end told us we needed to cover Billy Woods' album, the Aethiopes album, and then we covered it, Mike, and there was like 98 people in the room, and I'm like, y'all got a lot of nerve asking Mike and I to sit up here and cover this project for weeks and literally bullying us into doing it, and then the fucking following drops off like literally like 80% when we do it. Like, that's not cool. Now, I would like to talk about Russ, because Russ is arguably the biggest independent artist in the game right now, who consistently drops great music, who we've covered before, who made an album that we felt like was worthy to talk about too. And I think sometimes people need to respect the fact that it's like, no, we still listening to music and auditing the process. And if we felt like some albums needed to be covered that we've heard, we would be covering them fully.
Leroy Green with the super chat real quick. He says, appreciate you, A2HH. You guys, it's crazy, but I appreciate y'all. LOL. As soon as I get these beats, I'm going to hit you guys.
No. See, what you need to do is bring your ass down to Atlanta and get some beats from us. You know what I'm saying? So let me know when you want to come down to the A. I'll plug you into some producers down here, and we can make some shit happen, Leroy. And we not crazy. We just think different.
What were your thoughts on the Russ album?
I thought it was great. I thought it was an album of the year contender, top 5 album.
Why do you think that, I guess Russ is independent, I get that. But do you think that Russ is missing anything as an MC? Or, because he's a complete package. He raps, he produces all of his stuff. A lot of people compared him to Logic in some ways at some point, but I don't see that.
I think he's way more versatile than Logic, for one.
You say you heard some hits on this album.
I did. I hear a lot of hits on this album. This album is a groove and a wave. Remember when we were covering Chomp 2 and it's like, well, I like it, but I don't love it for him because I feel like he going to sound better by himself.
Yeah.
This is the evidence. This is what I'm talking about. Like, not everybody, some people play in the sandbox, Mike, and when they play in the sandbox, it's glorious. Method Man, Jadakiss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, oh, those guys get in the sandbox, play with everybody else. It's like, oh, they the best teammate in the sandbox. Right. Other guys get in the sandbox and kind of get lost in the shuffle a little bit. I felt with Chomp 2, he was lost in the shuffle a little bit. This is him and his vibe and his wave and where he's at, and it sounds good. It feels good. There was only one record on this project that I didn't even care for. I love what he does as far as the length of his projects. I love the in and out. I love the production, which he took part in. And this is what I mean. When it's him, he shines. I'm going to tell you somebody else that I feel that way about, that I was giving a hard time to. It's like, no, part of why I give Jay a hard time, Mike, is that when I really think about Jay's best records,
it's him by himself.
It's him by himself.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna
I always felt like that.
And I'm going to give you a hard time about that when I hear you get notarized for all this shit with other people. I'm like, that ain't the shit. Like, can I get ain't it, Mike?
Can I get it?
Like, that ain't it. That ain't what I'm streets is watching, is it, Mike? $1,000,001 Questions is it. Where I'm from.
Esquire has a super chat. He says, can y'all name 5 songs each from Sex and Violence, Edutainment, Ghetto Music / The Blueprint, and Return of the Boom Bap Off the Dome? Same question for K-Dot for his first 4 LPs.
I can't do it for K-Dot's 4 LPs either, but I know Return of the Boom, I know the Return of the Boom Bap is Black Cop, Sound of the Police, Blunt Getting Smoked, and the actual song, I believe, Return of the Boom Bap, which I believe is the intro, like with Joe Crack, on what did he say? Sex and Violence. Sex and Violence is your shit.
I love Sex and Violence. No, he said the Blueprint. Edutainment.
Edutainment? Oh, I thought he said Sex and Violence. No, he said Sex and Violence.
Yeah, he said Sex and Violence too.
Yeah. But I can't do that with K-Dot's albums either, Mike. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like I couldn't tell you 4 songs off Section 80 at this point. I've listened to it a long time. I can give you 4 songs off Good Kid, Mad City because I think it's the greatest rap album that he made.
High Power. I'm gonna go. ADHD. The Keisha song.
Keisha song is on Section 80. But also too, Mike, that's recency bias. You're asking us to name something. No, real talk, Esquire. You're asking us to name something that came out when we were like 7, 8, 9, 10 years old versus something that came out when we were like 28, 29, 30. So it's like it's not.
The KRS stuff is before our time. I think we go back and listen to it. Whereas with the Kendrick stuff, we actually lived that.
what did we live other than Good Kid, Mad City, Mike?
I mean, I remember my homeboys telling me about Section 80 and said Kendrick was
No,
gonna be next.
I was in Cali. I was in Cali the summer Section 80 dropped, and it was like, you know, it was some other shit. But that's how I knew it was happening for him.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, I didn't like bear witness like that. I feel like we caught Kendrick on the tail end of like our youth. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick is like the end of our youth for me.
Yeah.
It's like the last time I was like a young man and would like run out to a rap show at the drop of a dime is when Kendrick and Cole were blowing up. That was like my last time being like, oh, such and such in town. Be like, fuck that, let's go. It's like, yeah,
Right.
I don't do that shit no more.
So Russ.
Yeah, the Russ.
Where do you have it in you know what I'm saying, 2023's albums?
You know, I want to listen to it some more. My first listen told me that I would put it right after Nas and Killer Mike's album.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's the rating looking like for it right now?
I want to listen to it one more time to give it a rating.
Okay.
I listened to it twice today in full. I had to come up this way earlier. I listened to it when I was coming up, and I listened to it coming back up again. But it's super impressive. Like, even when me and Todd was talking, like you know, behind the scenes before the show, the shit rides. The production is stellar. It's introspective. It's got some friendly stuff on there. You know who he is? He is like, you can tell that he is a product of this Kanye and Drake world that we live in.
Yeah.
But he's a product of it in a good way. It's like I hear their influences, but I don't hear him biting. I hear him having his own unique style and flip and take on it. And I appreciate the record. It early on, I don't know if I want to put it above Abolished Uncertainties or the Genius tape. Shout out to Love for pulling up.
Mm-hmm.
But I would put it in that sphere. So when I hear it, it's like I don't think that it's better than the Nas or the Killer Mike, because conceptually those albums are doing things that this album is not doing. But when I did hear it off 2 listens, I did think the music and the production was slightly better overall than Love and Skeez's album, even though bar-wise I would probably give them the advantage.
Do you think that Killer Mike's gonna run away with the album of the year in most people's eyes?
If people feel that way, I'm totally okay with that. But here's what I do like. I do like the fact that after listening to Magic 2 some and settling down on it, and then listening to Killer Mike some and settling down on it, I feel like we have a conversation that's worth debating about. And I kind of want to see what else drops to kind of put us in the conversation of it. Because even, let's go back to 2020, Mike. It's like, well, it's like, no, you and me was like arguing about Alfredo, From a King
Pray
to
for
a God, and Pray for Paris.
Yeah.
And so it's like I'm looking for something to be more argumentative. I don't think the Russ is quite on the Killer Mike or Nas level, but I think it's conversational. But I also think, how about this? The person that I'm expecting to make this a 3-way conversation is Benny.
Hot take here. I think Abolished Uncertainties is better than Michael.
I don't agree.
Okay. I'm going to go listen to him back to
I don't
back.
agree. Burner Phone
Well,
might
yeah.
be the song of the year, but no, I don't agree.
It just did more for me. You know what I'm saying? I think Killer Mike.
I think you're more surprised. You're more surprised by Skis, though. You feel like there's some shock factor with that?
possibly.
Where it's like, oh man, this
It's
guy
different.
made a really, really great album. We were not expecting a really great album. We were expecting a good project, and we got a great project.
It did more for me, man. And maybe because, you know, I knew less about
It's
that
fresh.
individual. Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's fresh. Killer Mike ain't fresh to us, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
We over Killer
And
Mike.
we hear
now.
him all the time talking.
Like
you
I'm
know.
about to say, we hear him talking all the time. Even when it's not rap related, Mike,
Right.
he might be doing something at my job in the next couple of months. One of my bosses was like, "Yeah, Killer Mike might be in here." Killer Mike was already in here. I'm like, "Yeah, well, this is Atlanta, so that's
Yeah.
what he be doing."
Is there anything else we needed to cover?
What'd you think of the Russ?
I liked it. I mean, I think everything that Russ puts together is consistent.
I
man.
feel like the album was more enjoyable for your music aesthetic and taste than me, because I got some Dilla Tribe vibes to it in terms of the groove.
Yeah.
You know,
I think from a production standpoint, he really gives you that vibe, you
He
know,
does.
and he knows how to execute on it too.
and he's really versatile as MC.
Now, if he's out here writing for other people and stuff, I think that's a good move.
Oh God, back to the writer shit.
I'm just saying, like, listen, if I'm a superstar, I would identify that this motherfucker can write and produce some songs.
Some of these records,
Yeah.
How about this? Like, this is what I mean about that Drake Kanye thing. It's like, well, I just told you I think Drake is about to release his best project that he's released in a long time. You know Kanye ain't released no good shit since My Beautiful Dark Twisted
I
Fantasy.
actually like Donda.
Okay. Nobody
But
likes
again,
Donda. Okay.
Did you go listen to the deluxe?
No, Mike, I haven't psychologically
You
gotten over what he did to
listen
us.
to the deluxe.
I haven't
They
gotten over what he
changed
did to us.
Nah, man, Def Jam
Stole our money.
Def Jam sabotage, yeah, man. Speaking of which, before we get out of here,
You don't let people sabotage you when you
I
get to
mean-
the point in the stage in the game that Kanye
Well, he-
is when he's ain't nobody trying.
That's the record
Ain't
label.
man, fuck that.
He told the people that he didn't co-sign that. They put it out. They said in
Kanye
the
be
chat,
doing what he want all the time, Mike.
well, not with the music. You know, when it comes to releases, they do with them.
Hold on,
what they
how-
want.
Let me ask you something, Mike. How did
Mhm.
Def Jam get the songs?
He recorded them,
Where he record them at?
but see, this is the thing, Coop.
He recorded them
In the dome.
in the
the
dome in some
arena.
corny ass back
But
room.
see, this is the thing.
Slavery to the engineer. They only got them hands on the records because he let them get their hands on the
You
records.
need to listen to the deluxe because the engineering is different
Needs
and
to
the
be.
song placement
Oh my God, the
is
engineering.
way different.
Okay.
And so when you got Def Jam putting together the order of the songs as opposed to Ye doing it, give me the one that Ye did that on. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna go back and listen to the engineering. You know how I feel about the engineering. of
Yeah, that was
album.
one of your big critiques. Dot with the super
For somebody
chat
that's
says,
arguably the greatest producer of all time, your album cannot be poorly engineered. That is not
so
me.
do you think that's uncharacteristic of him, or do you think that's more of a Def Jam taking
No,
the album whenever they wanted to and put it out when
Mike,
they wanted?
this is what I'm saying, Mike, and you listen to me very carefully when I'm saying this. Well, it's like, well, when I listen to Donda and Life of Pablo and Kids See Ghost and Ye and the Nasir album, it's like, no, we got a motherfucking problem.
Okay.
Stop acting like these last few albums outside of Daytona have been engineered great by this man. Rest of them shits are suspect. There's been something
rushed.
wrong.
They were rushed.
By who?
They were rushed by him at that
Okay, copy that.
Dot with
Alright.
the super chat
Slavery
says
to the
Russ
engineer.
projected to outsell Quavo by 20,000. Wow.
I told you he's the biggest independent artist in the game right now.
36 Chambers with the super chat says, is Russ a contender already then for the best of 2023? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I like Donda too, man. I know people in the chat saying they like Donda.
Like this Russ album is going to be a top 10 rap album this year, even if the rest of the year is flooded, in my opinion. That's what I think of it. Because right now I would have it somewhere between 3 to 5. And I don't see, based on the output that we've seen up until as we approach the end of August, another 6 albums coming out being better than it. We have no evidence that that's really happening.
What I was going to say before we get out of here, and shout out to Swig. We did an article on him on accordingtohiphop.com. We're going to put that out there for you. He got a single and everything. Shout out to Swig. And go to accordingtohiphop.com as well for your articles, news, and culture pieces. Anyway.
Yes, I believe there's footage of me after the live Donda show on there as well.
That should be there somewhere.
After the slavery.
What I was going to say, though.
So problematic.
Somebody said that Kanye is a top 5 most influential hip-hop artist all time.
That's true.
It is true. I would go a step further and say 3. I say Tupac, Rakim, and him.
Impact's bigger than Rakim's at this point.
I think so. I give Rakim.
I'm never putting him over Tupac, just so
No.
we're clear.
It's hard to put anybody over Tupac.
It's not happening.
Tupac influenced everything. So you got him at number 2. I think so. I think that's fair.
Trying to find a legitimate reason to slide his ass down right now. Dr. Dre?
Nah, Dr. Dre ain't more influential than Ye.
Are you
Because
sure
you got
about that?
somebody that's fashion
Are you sure about
and
that?
music.
Well, here's what I mean when you say fashion. NWA. Snoop. Yeah, that's...
NWA is a collective. Yeah.
He's part of the collective.
He is part of the collective.
I don't know, Mike. Beats by Dre is bigger than anything Kanye's contributed
I
hip-hop
don't-
outside of music. I'm sorry.
I don't think they're bigger than Yeezys.
I do. Because this is music, Mike. And the music always subsists.
I don't know, guys.
Hold on, Mike. You can't call yourself a rap nigga and take the shoes over the headphones.
I think
I'm
they're
sorry.
comparable. And now shoes are a part of hip-hop culture, too.
Not like the headphones, Mike.
I think they're more so part of hip-hop culture than headphones are. I think headphones being a part of the culture is kind of a newer thing.
How about this, Mike? Ball players don't do fucking ads for Yeezy. They do ads for Beats by Dre. The answer is no.
I disagree with you. What do you guys think?
No,
do y'all
Mike.
think
Mike, I'm gonna say this.
y'all
to you
think
again.
it's Yeezy
talking
or
about-
y'all think that
we're
it's
talking about-
Beats by Dre, which is
talking about-
more impactful?
Yeah, if we're talking musically, for this culture, Beats by Dre literally helps artists, helps producers, and gets marketed because it's part of the Interscope machine in a manner that fucking ball players do whole commercials with Schoolboy Q playing studio in the by the beach. No.
When is the aftermath brunch, Coop?
So it's a Rock Nation brunch, Mike.
I think it's in February.
So I'm gonna tell you how I feel. Always like California more than New York. You can take your ass to the Rock Nation Bronx.
That's in LA.
They be having it in LA. These
It's in
pastel
LA.
suit wearing ass niggas. No. Give me the aftermath brunch. Me and Eminem can sit down and talk about your ass for a minute.
Tell Eminem to holler at me.
I'ma holler at Glove.
Yeah, shout out to Glove.
Glove, I'm gonna pull up. Tell Dre I said what up. We're gonna pull up.
Yo, shout out to Glove. Shout out to Young Nas, too, out there in the Bay, man. I hollered at him
Sure.
last week, and he was like, yo, I got in contact with you guys because of the Glove interview. I was like, that's what's up. He's like, that's my guy. It's like, whenever I'm out in L.A., kicking it. So, yeah, we go out to L.A.
Glove
We're
might
going to
pick-
kick it with Glove, Hit Boy, Young Nas.
Glove
We
might
got to get out there,
Glove
man.
might pick me up in the Gremlin Green 6'4" with the gold spokes on it, and we might just ride.
And we
through
might
Las
just
Vegas.
run into Dre. Who knows? Take a picture in the studio.
Not with the way you've been talking about Eminem.
I
Mike.
love
We won't
Dre.
be doing that at all. That shit won't be happening.
I love Dre.
That
You
shit
know I
won't-
love Dre.
They're gonna be like, Coop, stop at the door right quick. What's up with your mans? What's up with your mans?
Hey, man, I'm honest.
I'm gonna tell you a true story.
And all my hoes is honest.
Obi, when we were doing music together, Obi actually submitted one of our CDs to Aftermath. He like literally drove to Sherman Oaks and put one of our early CDs in the fucking Aftermath mailbox.
I've done that before.
Because you could like pull up back then.
I've done that before.
This is like 04. So
But-
it's like, so we did this song called Motion Picture and a song called Heart Bleeding in the studio in Costa Mesa. And Obi was off from working for a couple of days. He's like, yeah. So he's like, so I took the CD that we mixed down. He's like, yeah, I dropped it off at Aftermath. I was like, did you package it? He's like, no, I'll just put it in the mailbox.
Put it in the mailbox.
I was like,
you know how often that probably happens? Because I did something like that, too.
I was telling him, I was like, you can't do that shit. I was like, we're not going to get any sort of response for that. He's like, I just felt the urge. We just needed to do it. I was like,
I just want them to hear it.
right.
The real Leonard Johnson with the Leonard Washington with the super chat says, still got love for y'all. Just want those who are dropping quality music in such a down period to get their due. Glad y'all reviewed Skyzoo. We want to talk to Skyzoo too. We need to get Skyzoo on this couch.
We had Skyzoo confirmed for an interview and he didn't pop up. So it's like that's kind of on him.
Well,
and
we
his
didn't
camp,
have
too.
the studio at that point too, but either way, we had our schedules conflicted. Let's reach out to Skyzoo.
We didn't have the studio to get Chris the Glove. We didn't
You're
have
right.
the studio to get Hit Boy. We didn't have the studio to get Love. Into the Wu-Tang got recorded in a fucking basement and a bathroom.
Well, let's get Skyzoo. 36 Chambers with the super chat
Giving
says
nobody no pass. He said no to us.
he didn't say no.
Did the interview happen?
He didn't say no.
Is the nigga in town? Did the interview not happen?
Nah, he didn't
no
say
hall
no.
passes today.
He didn't say no. I'm not gonna put that in.
Did he get back to us?
I didn't get a response.
Then I'm not in a rush.
36 Chambers with the super chat says people don't associate beats to Dre anymore since he sold them to Apple and dropped them and dropped the name. Ye has had more impact appeals to the culture globally. Yeah.
I asked about
what
rap. I didn't ask about globally. You always got to start with your own backyard
Well, I'll
first.
say rap.
And in rap, Dr. Dre is more impactful than Kanye West. If you want to stretch the boundaries of hip hop and go outside the borders of hip hop,
I don't know. Generationally, I mean, obviously for a certain demographic, obviously it's
talking
Dre,
about-
right? But if we're talking about people who were born, let's just say mid-'90s and beyond, they would say yay.
I don't believe that because here's what I believe. And this is what I mean about musically. I believe right now today, if you were to ask a new artist, you can get a beat from Dr. Dre or get a beat from Kanye.
They're going to say Kanye.
I think Dr. Dre is still the answer because you want to know why, Mike?
I disagree.
You don't have any fucking evidence outside of Daytona that this man's really been great.
Well, Dr. Dre
Yup.
doesn't even put out anything. We just see people taking pictures with him in the studio.
First of
See,
all-
you're trying to get me disinvited to the Aftermath brunch. That's not what I'm trying to do here.
Mike,
but
everybody's
I'm
heard
gonna
your
be
Eminem
honest.
takes, Mike. You're
I'm going to be
disinvited.
honest.
I'm disinvited. We're never going, Mike, about the Eminem
No.
shit.
The glove got us, man. Shout out to the glove. He's very neutral in this. But nah, man. I mean, if we talk about a person, look, if I'm an artist coming out and I got a choice between having Dr. Dre or Kanye produce my record, I know if Kanye produces it, it's actually going to see the light of day. That's how I feel.
Huh. There's only a 30% chance it's going to be good. With Dr. Dre, it's more like 85.
Nah,
Okay.
Kanye makes people's best stuff.
Tell that to Nas.
Well, I mean, that didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't think Nasir is as bad as y'all try to make it seem. Now, obviously, him connecting with Hit Boy was
You want to know what?
different.
Actually, yes, it is, Mike. 'Cause here's what I'm about to
Nasir
say.
got him out the contract,
Hot
right?
take. No, Lost Tapes 2 got him out the
But
Def
I'm
Jam
saying
contract.
that kind of was
Hot
the spring.
take.
Because honestly, the Lost Tapes 2, that was already there. So it's like, okay,
Mike,
we need a new project.
Mike, Nasir is worse than Nostradamus.
I disagree.
No, it's not.
I disagree.
Where's the last
100%.
words on Nasir?
What's it called? The song with the dream.
Project Window?
Project
Come and get me.
Window.
Shoot 'em up?
You got no.
Come and get me with Preem.
You got White Labels. You got Cop
It's
Shot
bad.
the Kid.
It's bad.
Nah, I
Nostradamus
disagree
is
with
better
that.
than Nasir.
Nah, I disagree with that wholeheartedly.
Super
Nasir
disappointed.
is better than Nostradamus.
It's really not.
He's a better rapper on there and
No,
everything.
he's not.
He
No,
is.
he's not.
He is. I don't know, man. The production on Nostradamus, I just wasn't feeling.
I
But
wasn't feeling the production on Nasir.
I like
Who
the
the
production
fuck-
on Nasir.
Who the fuck decided to hold up the album to get Puff's distorted ass voice on a
Yeah,
hook?
now that was a misstep.
Flag on the play.
That was a misstep.
15 yards.
All right, let's get up out of here, man. Great show. We're gonna be talking about that Drake album on Monday, and
I'm excited about the Drake album.
yeah,
I've been excited for a Drake album in a minute, Mike.
I don't think ever.
No, I was excited a long time ago.
Which one?
No. We weren't recording to do like early on.
I mean, they
like,
just
remember,
came.
Remember
you know
when
what I
Miss
mean?
Me came out?
Yeah.
No, he put a little battery in my back then. I was like,
Okay.
okay. I was like, let me check him.
Oh shit, motherfucker! Goddamn. AB Studios with the super chat says Kanye produced Papa Was a Player and Still Dreaming.
Stop
Still
bringing up
Dreaming
that
is-
old shit. Stop
Still
bringing up
Dreaming
that
is
old shit. That ain't got
awesome.
nothing to do. Ain't got nothing to do with
You got
Nasir,
some new Dr.
BN,
Dre stuff?
and Whack. The shit on Grand Theft Auto better than all of your shit did the last 5 years.
Nigga pulled out Grand Theft Auto. Are you serious?
That's his last shit. It's better than Ye shit.
That shit ain't even. Come on, man.
I be giving
Donda better than that. It is.
Donda better than Mr. Morale. That's not saying much.
Praise God is better than everything that was on that, whatever that was you were mentioning. You got any other Dre stuff other than the Grand Theft Auto video game shit?
Like recently? No. He hadn't done any work recently that I know of.
Now, he was telling us that he has this Martha Ambrosia album that is the best album he ever produced, but he said that back in 2020. So, he also said he made like 100 beats in 2020.
First of all, how many times has he told us his Marsha Ambrosius album's coming out?
well, he took a picture with the orchestra this time. So you're trying to get me disinvited to these functions. Nah, man, I got love for Dre. Dre is the greatest hip hop producer of all time.
You just stay over there on Kanye's side and stop kicking that bullshit.
Hey, yay, man, we need a good music brunch or something, man.
No,
'cause
Mike,
I'm
no,
getting
Mike.
disinvited to shit because I'm defending Ye.
Mike, how about Kanye actually make some good music? How about that? How about that?
I trust that he can.
How about that? How about you make some good music,
I
nigga?
trust that he can
Every
more
time
than
we
I
see
do Dr.
Every time I
Dre
see this
right
nigga,
now.
he's shopping in L.A. or in Paris. It's like, do you
He's
still make
chilling. He's living like a nomad.
It's time to
He's
go.
close to the streets.
It's time to go.
At least, I mean, look, when we see him in the studio, something actually comes
He's
out.
gonna put a flute in his hand real soon, right, Mike? That's when you're gonna have something to say. Is it gonna take him putting a flute in his hand for you to have something to say finally?
These Dre's, man. I mean, we got more pictures of Dr. Dre in the studio than songs.
We got more classics from Dr. Dre than we do from Kanye, though. So
Do we?
yeah,
Do you want to do that one? That's what we need to do.
you want to do it?
I'm with it.
You don't want to do it.
Yeah, we need to do that.
No, you don't.
Are we doing a produced one? Yeah, I'm with that.
I mean, Dr. Dre produces everything. You know what I'm saying? Like there ain't.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna nitpick it. It can have whoever's name on it, Mailman or whatever. You can have that. But
Mike, you don't have shit for deep covering Kanye's catalog or G thing. Like you have nothing for those records.
you may be surprised. This is gonna be fun. I got Kanye, you got Dr. Dre. We're gonna do a versus type of song for song matchup. 20 songs deep.
I always love these West Coast niggas more anyway. That's fine. We can
20
do
songs
25. We can
deep?
do 25 if you want.
I say we do 21 so we can make that shit, so it's a tiebreaker.
It's fine. Like the quote Dr. Dre.
Oh, I'm with this
about
one.
to let me ride on your
I'm
ass.
with this one. I love Dre, so I know everything you're going to play because he ain't really,
Mike, it doesn't matter what you play. It don't matter.
Oh man, my
I got-
iPad just died.
I got like
we
seven-
got a super chat over here if
Hold
you
on,
can get
look,
that
and
one.
I'm on 10%. It's time to go. Look, my Dre got 7 or 8 records that Kanye just can't do nothing with. All right.
I know that's why I got to play this perfectly.
Big Sean is the only reason good music survived. Dot with the 199 super chat. 36 Chambers 199 super chat. Marsha Ambrosius or Detox are coming out the same day. It's time to go. We will not be lied to on our own show by people. Did you super chat in here to lie to us, Mike? It's time to go.
No, yeah, it's coming out the same week. It might not be the same day. I
Mike,
think they
just
might
like-
be a week apart.
Mike, just like Rock M is dropping Oh My God on
yeah,
Aftermath.
yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna drop what, February 30th,
Copy
I
that.
think.
Mike, I mean,
February
not-
30th,
and not-
2000.
I mean, Mike, not even being funny.
50.
Even when I talked to Glove was like, "Yeah, Dre and Snoop recording right now." It's like, "Yeah, that's great."
We're not gonna hear anything.
Next,
We're not gonna hear
It's time to
anything.
go.
So yeah,
Piss me off.
just to
It's
make
the
it
Kendrick-
official.
It's the Kendrick
Just to make
shit
it
that- It's
official.
the Kendrick shit that
Hold on,
triggered
hold
me.
on, hold on,
That's
hold
that
on, hold on,
bullshit.
Coop. Are we going to do this Dre and Kanye versus before this Wu-Tang and Tribe? Or
We need to do the Wu-Tang Tribe thing tonight. Like tonight. Tired of you ducking me and dodging me, Mike.
I'm not ducking. I'm not.
What?
ducking.
How it go on the champ? On Ghostface shit? That's how I feel. I feel like the hook
Yeah.
from Ghostface the champ.
Hey man, Wu-Tang's tough. Wu-Tang's tough. Actually, I'm more confident. I'm confident in both, but I'm more confident in this Kanye and Dre. Because I'm going to hit you with
Remember
all
what you
kind
told
of
me?
shit.
When you first stepped in, you wanted to be a fighter. You wanted to be a killer. You wanted to be the champ. Bring your Tribe Called Quest loving ass into the 36 chambers.
Well,
please.
let's do this. All right. We're going to holler at y'all what,
Ridiculous.
Monday.
Mike been ducking me like he owe me bookie money or something about this tribe shit.
All right. We're going to holler at y'all. Hit like and subscribe. All those things. A2HH Live. Appreciate y'all rocking with us.